everyone, and welcome to another episode of BrobusCast. I am your host, BrobusCast. With me today is Z-Dog.
It's me! Yeah.
And Richard.
Howdy, howdy. Welcome. We're alive.
We are,
Yeah.
indeed.
Hooray for living!
Yay, life. But wait, guys. This room feels a little cramped.
Yeah,
there's more people
I don't
here.
know. It feels like I'm being watched.
It feels like,
And,
I'm being squeezed right
someone
now,
wants
and not
to-
by my
It
girlfriend.
feels like someone wants to murder him first. So I'm stepping back.
Man, I knew I should have spent the budget money to increase the size of this room and get more chairs. Damn it! I just had to
hey.
spend it on more autographs.
Oh, wait, no, it's not a problem at all. There's just more people here.
Yay! Surprise!
Yay.
Finally fulfilling that promise we made.
Long time ago.
Yes.
It's took a little while. It's fine.
It's okay. It's only been a
fine.
few months.
It's fine. But yeah, we are crossing over with Lads Discuss. We got Billy.
Oh, O'Reilly.
We got Nate.
7 out of 10.
You will not believe how long I was waiting on that button. I was like, they're gonna stop eventually. I'm gonna do my intro. I don't care.
Nate.
That meme is dated. Yes, I'm Billy Bobby. I'm crossing over.
We have your only mate.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
Oh,
All right then.
All right, well, that's it. That's the podcast. Thank you guys for watching. And we also have Sean.
Welcome everybody to the most ambitious BrobusCast crossover since Blake versus Mika's discussion.
Yay!
That takes me back.
Good times.
Good.
But yeah,
times.
surprise! We're doing the Fables crossover of Legends. Yay!
really not to the death because we all know who would die first.
Yeah, you guys.
I was gonna say Steve.
Yeah, Steve would die first, obviously.
Yeah,
We all
sacrifice.
just gang up on
Sacrifice
Steve.
Steve to the Aether.
If YouTube couldn't kill me, what makes you think you can?
Hey, that's a throwback.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that is an old throwback.
Thank you.
Gosh. All right.
It's not a good throwback, to be honest.
No, it's not a good
I'm
throwback,
taking-
but
No, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I'm taking the W.
So yeah, this is a thing. We brought over an entire freaking podcast to join ours.
It had to use 2 of his Infinity
Alert.
Gauntlets. It took a lot of work, but we got there.
Yeah.
This wasn't my doing. I know I'm the one who gets the guest, but no, this was an original idea that wasn't mine, and I'm kind of happy because
Yes, an
this is
original
cool.
idea. Crossovers are very original.
Hey, I
Can be original.
I think some people were probably thinking, maybe one day BrobusCast and Lads would do a crossover episode. Oh, here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah,
I'm
surprise.
actually a bit
Yeah,
surprised
well-
that the Death Battle community has kind of wanted to see us crossover because I didn't even think Lads would become like a podcast some people talk about. I was like, look, this
Yeah.
is just me and my friends giving our opinion on the show, really. I didn't
Don't
expect
count
people
yourself
actually wanted.
short.
I just wasn't expecting people wanting us to cross over with other people. When am I gonna cross over with Seth Rogen? When am I gonna be on there?
Hey, I'm surprised people are still tagging me to this day asking, so when's Nerdbender coming back?
Oh gosh.
Oh man, there's another throwback for you.
Who needs
There's a reason
nerds
I'm
when
the
you
king.
got Lads? It's basically Nerd Podcast 2.0. Has an
Then where's my
elephant.
royalties?
Your royalties are coming in 50.
So,
Okay.
All right.
So,
thank you,
okay.
BrobusCast, for having us, obviously.
Thanks
no
for
problem.
being here.
Good
Yeah,
blood.
thanks for being here.
Okay, so real quick, should note this is part 2 of a big, massive collaboration we've been doing. Part 1 will be on Billy's channel, so you can go check that out.
Well, technically, that'll probably be more than one part. Just saying.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
parts
basically,
1 and
it's a-
1.5 will be on Billy's channel. There you go.
There you
what I
go.
could be bothered to edit. What I could be bothered to edit in a day.
There you go.
We'll
Yeah,
put on screen what this actual part is.
Yeah, knowing your release schedule compared to mine, yeah, yours is so like. I think you're gonna get all of your parts out first before I even get this one started.
Hey, jobless. Needs income.
Exactly.
Myself sad now.
So yeah, that part we basically discussed what's the future of Death Battle. For us, we're gonna go to the past.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's fitting considering you guys were the past podcast before we came out, and we were like the future
Ah.
technically.
Yeah.
Fitting.
See,
There you go.
see, what you don't know is we planned it that way, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Uh,
It's gonna be the twist. Russ is gonna be like, "Hey Bill, remember when you sat by your computer and you had this great idea of doing a podcast? It was me, Billy. I manipulated you to make another podcast for the crossover."
that or one of us is going to be revealed as each other's grandfather. Whichever comes first.
Oh gosh.
Anyway,
that's some weird implications.
Anyway, what are we actually going to be talking about before?
If Z-Dog's my son, I'll feel so bad for always targeting first.
Yeah, you
Wouldn't that make Kate your grandson, though?
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
This is starting off weirdly. So what's this topic
Yep.
going to be about, brothers?
Well, we just had a season wrap up. We're still in the midst of a hiatus. It is not May yet, surprisingly.
yes.
Kind of thinking about growing a full beard until the season comes out, just so I can do an opening skit where it's finally here, and I rip off the beard.
I'm 3 steps ahead, buddy. I got a beard growing since. Anyway.
Yeah. So I thought, well, especially since this is a crossover, why don't we? And it's been a while since we've all kind of like gone back a little bit. So I thought,
Except for me, technically, but whatever.
so I thought,
Sorry.
why don't we look back on some of our like just the show as a whole, not just this one season, but this entire show. And the best way to do that, at least for our podcast, is what we've been asking our guests for the entirety of our run, basically. And it's discussing our favorite episodes, our least favorite episodes, and our most wanted episodes. And it also works this time because Billy hasn't been on our podcast before, so we were going to ask him anyway.
Or do you know, I was always there, each significant episode. And anyone gets that reference, you're a mad lad.
And then after that, we kind of had this competition going. I think it's time we wrap it up.
A little bug.
At the end of this whole ordeal, we're gonna have the results of our whole bros versus lads thing we had going.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
But first,
Our
let's,
superior.
before we divide ourselves, let's come together. That sounded really corny, but you know what? We're going with it.
That was beyond corny, even for me.
And we're gonna get positive. Let's just start with the negative, because why not?
Yay.
That's just how we roll. And I say personally, we go down the list of what's shown on screen, at least for me.
Okay.
Which means Sean, you're going first.
Wait, so is this an alphabetical order?
Yeah, it seems like it.
All right.
Fair enough.
So Sean, tell us, what is your least favorite episode?
My least favorite episode of Death Battle. I tried to go back and watch it, see if I can change my mind. I could not. It is Tracer versus Scout from season 3.
Aww, I like that episode.
This is coming from someone who plays Overwatch a lot, and I'm just like, it was way too early at the time for Tracer. Let's be real.
I mean, yeah, true.
Not too early for Tracer.
It was.
It was like, what, 3 months after Overwatch came out? They're like, oh yeah, let's do
3-4
Tracer.
Like, that's what it genuinely felt like. Besides that, I didn't feel Scout was repped that well in a lot of different departments. Like, the voice acting, I think, could have been better. I know they couldn't get Scout's visual actor and everything, but...
Well, that was because he offered too late.
You know.
Yeah, I will agree with him on that. Yeah, Scout's actor, he tried, but he just can't cut it with that guy. He is just the Scout, even though I can't remember his name and I feel bad.
Yeah, it's Nathan something.
Alright, we got half of it.
But I don't remember
yeah,
his surname at all.
He just has that voice that can't be replicated, really.
Yeah, and there's also, let me just jump and shoot instead of run and gun, because that makes sense!
Yeah, for a guy that's known for running and gunning, do a whole lot of that.
Nathan Vetterline.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Nathan Vetterline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Vetterline, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, some either way. If there's one episode that I will agree with all the criticism on, yeah, Scout was piss poor portrayed in the fight. Like,
Yeah.
just
not a lot of variety.
standing still with his shotgun. That's the iconic Scout
Yeah.
I like his
way.
attitude.
Of course. Yeah.
Another question, though. Sure, it's... Yeah,
Because at the time, I didn't really bat an eye to it.
No, you did not. It's like I'm not going to bat an eye to that remark you just made.
Oh, I just got it. Okay, anyway, go on.
Wow.
Just saw an opportunity and jumped in.
I do wish that, I know Torian was big on Source Filmmaker, but I do wish that this in Source Filmmaker would have been a whole lot better.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Also, like the visual effects, when Tracer's just flicking around, I think that did not look the best.
Yeah.
It could have been a whole lot done visually, and the outcome, okay, yeah, I think the outcome does not change at all. But I do wish that
No, if anything, I think Tracer stomps harder.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I will ask this, Sean, since you're an Overwatch fan. What was the butt shot? Did they do it justice?
It was funny.
Okay, then. We got a positive at least, so,
The
swings around about.
the only other positive I really get this episode in general is its backing soundtrack, because Anarchy Reigns music is really good.
Yeah.
Favorite from my...
Elsie was fine as Tracer.
Yeah, she's a good actress and a good singer. I've heard a lot of her covers. As Tracer, 50-50.
I do think that it would have
I
been
still
better.
remember, just how passionate she was about that episode. Go watch some reactions to that. Odds are you'll find her in the comments.
Yeah, probably true.
I do wish that this episode was done at a later point, honestly. I think it would have benefited a whole lot better.
Although
And
if you guys want another throwback, apparently this is the throwback episode. Do you guys remember Spectral Star's reaction to this? Because it's still one of my favorite videos on YouTube.
Is it by
Yes.
chance because of the Cars ad?
Maybe.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Maybe.
Thank you.
I haven't watched Spectral Star in years. Is he still uploading videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still
He does
doing
live
his thing.
streams. He does live
I
streams.
might subscribe to him. He seems like a fun guy to bring on lads someday.
If he's not busy.
We've been trying to get
He
him
can
on
only do
Bros, but
Saturdays.
we've been trying to get him on this podcast, but he is way too busy for that.
He can only
fair
do
enough.
Saturdays. He told me that. He can't do weekdays.
I do wish that
Unfortunate.
for the first Overwatch episode, we would have waited and we would have gotten, something better. Because I do think when Widow's fight came out eventually later, that was done a whole lot better compared to this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've kind of viewed them as both pretty good in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, in spite of everything, I can't find it in myself to dislike Tracer versus Scout. Like, I watch it and I'm like, I don't. I mean,
Well, mate, that's because you were a
liked it.
Tracer one trick.
Well, this episode actually got me into Overwatch and Tracer, so
So I think
Yeah.
if we would have waited a while, like another couple seasons, I think it would have been better.
I mean, sure.
I agree.
Yeah, research-wise, it's a little dated. I mainly have nostalgia for this episode because it's what got me to be friends with Elsie Lovelock. She's very nice.
Aw.
Yeah.
I've tried to get to like this episode again to see, maybe my least favorite was the only episode I've ever disagreed with the show, but no, it's still Tracer vs. Scout.
If you want, Sean, I know some KGBT methods that I can use on you to try and get you to like it.
I'm fine.
Although
The promise
Bill,
is that you'll come out the same.
Bill, I think you'll fancy this piss take joke. But when I rewatched that fight recently, I made a comment with my friends, and they agreed. If Tracer wasn't, obviously part of the LGBT community, I know the perfect person she could be paired up with, for fan art, just for shits and giggles.
Oh boy.
I'm kind of scared to ask. I only have a little bit of my inner child still in me. Holding on by a thread of my childhood innocence. Like, Bill, please stop with the dick jokes.
It's funny you just mentioned that.
Oh no.
I think she and Dick Grayson would make a beautiful ass couple.
Okay, do you not know? I can actually agree with that, actually. Okay, I wasn't as bad as I
both
thought
have-
it was going to be.
No, yeah, they literally have the perfect asses, and just imagine what their children would look like.
Oh lord.
Yeah, it just sucks that Tracer vs. Scout is on the butt end of my favorite death battles ever. Like, this is...
Good
Hey.
Segue. If you guys like it, then that's fine. I just hope you
I
understand
think it's
why I
fine.
don't like it. That's all I
I
ask.
think animation-wise it could have been better because Torian, unfortunately, it was revealed he couldn't put his all into this because of his own mental health at the time.
Yeah, this
So
was.
Ben told him,
Everyone at the time, everyone made so many comments like, "How does Torian keep up so well?" Because like he did like it was every other fight was his.
Yeah.
Tracer versus Scout was kind
Poor
of
guy.
like. Yeah. I think Tracer versus Scout was kind of like the. It kind of showed like, yeah, this is something I can't do forever.
Yeah, no, and I am kind of sad he couldn't use Source Filmmaker because of his own reservations about the software.
Well, also it's just hard to learn. It's not an easy software to get into.
Yeah.
Unless you're Devil
last
Artemis.
year, I was actually going to try and get into it for making more skits. I gave up on the first 2 hours of just trying to move an arm.
Yeah.
I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'll just Photoshop images. I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I can say about
Maybe in
Tracer
20
vs.
years'
Scout.
time when I have motion capture.
There you go.
Yeah, that's all I can say about Tracer vs. Scout. If I had to say, my least favorite episode, it's that one. And as long as you guys understand where I'm coming from, you can say whatever you want about the episode.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, I totally get where you're coming from. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Billy, what you got?
I thought we were going to go through all of Sean's list.
No, we're starting
That would
everyone, I
literally
think,
take too low.
yeah,
That
we're
would
just
take
doing
Okay.
least favorite first.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
well,
we're going in
just
order.
like,
Yeah, we're,
just like
yeah,
us,
we're going over.
yeah, just like. Okay, fair enough. I guess I'll just say my opinion hasn't changed when Mate had me on his channel. Yeah, my least favorite is still Yang versus Tifa.
Really?
I guess I didn't go into too much detail about it
Oh boy.
because it was kind of like, oh, we already recorded for 2 hours, so let's just say my favorite, least favorite, don't care, cope, Steve, ever, whatever.
I did not expect that to be your choice, honestly.
Have you never seen?
I think I vaguely saw it, but again, it was such a long video, and I had to go to work like midway through it. I do remember you had a dog for your profile icon.
It was little Barbara in a Christmas hat. She hated it. Oh, that little demon.
Yeah.
So, let me tell you the tale about why I don't like this episode. I'm gonna do a southern accent with a guitar. I'm not gonna keep on that. I'm not sure if I'm offended
Let me
anyone.
tell you. Let me tell you, Tay. Like, let's go back to the Western shit.
You try to
Let me tell
defend
you,
yourself
Brian.
with this episode as two members of BrobusCast Readers and just give you the death stare.
Funny enough, I feel like this. I really feel like over the years maybe this episode would have changed, and it nearly did when I think it was around season 7 of Death Battle. I think Aquaman versus Namor was starting to become my least favorite because it was just so boring. But why is Yang versus Tifa stayed? Well, at the time that episode came out, I was hyped because I really felt like Ruby was a really underrated show at the time. Obviously now I can't really say that. When Ruby was starting off, barely anyone knew about it. I and a few friends in school watched it. And for me at the time, Yang was my girl. In fact, I still have a plushie of her. I'll send a screenshot to BrobusCast to show this. And yeah, Yang was...
Never mind.
but yeah, Yang was, my favourite girl. Funny enough, I eventually nicknamed one of my friends that, and she just rolled with it, and I've hated it ever since. The thing about Yang over the years, the thing about Tifa as well, I didn't like Tifa at the time. No, I'm pretty sure I've just offended. Of course,
I didn't even know who
my
she was.
did my opinion on her change? I watched the movies and the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm just thinking to myself, I was really harsh on this girl. She is such a likable character. Like, she's adorable, she's badass, and just all her fights in the movie are just brilliant. I still love that shot where she hits the wall and then there's like a little miniature shockwave and it goes in slow motion. That's just beautiful. Yang, on the other hand, it's kind of funny because when that episode came out, Yang was my favourite. But even at the time, I thought the episode was mediocre at best. Animation wasn't that great. Sure, it was cool they got Barbara to voice Yang. I'm not going to dispute that wasn't a hype moment. And Tara Strong as Tifa, just...
Tia Ballard.
I don't know why you keep saying Tara Strong. That's not who voices Tifa.
It wasn't it?
No.
Oh, no,
Which
that
one
would have
was
been
Tara
weird if they got
Strong?
Tara Strong.
Could have sworn it was Tara Strong.
No, Tara
Who
Strong
said
is
Tara
never
Strong
voiced
now?
in Death Battle.
I swear she had. Maybe. Okay, I guess I was. Okay, well, regardless though, still a good actress to play as her. But yeah, the episode was just mediocre, and the death. Honestly, you could put any cartoon sound effect. Just put Zoibo's whoop, 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 as the head's spinning. That wasn't brutal to me. I was laughing. I was like, bruh, you can't kill someone like. It's creative. Using the shotgun gauntlets to twist her neck. Creative. It needed to be some gore though. You had to have the neck snap off and blood spewing out. You had to, like, I don't know, do something. It was just so cartoony, just whoop, 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 black.
I do find it kind of funny that we went back-to-back episodes with Max Anarchy music in the background.
That is true,
yeah.
actually. And it also just wasn't that funny for me. Like, Yang, before, the next few seasons, Yang always was hilarious in older volumes. She had no funny lines in this fight. When Tifa's, like, threatening her to get out of the bar, she just goes, "So, does this mean no sunrise?" I was like, "That's your quip?"
I do think Torian as the guard was a nice little cameo.
That was a cool cameo. But, like, Yang had so many great lines in the show. Like, when she was talking to Junior. And she was like, "You just call me sir," just grabs his nuts and stuff like that. And she was just funny. But in the fight, she was not funny. And even her nail it made her look like a psychopath. Hey, I just broke into a bar, killed someone. Nailed it. Again, that's probably my criticism when it comes to heroes versus hero fights. It's kind of hard to make the hero look good after killing someone.
Also,
How this fight's got...
Also, I just looked it up. Tara Strong doesn't even voice Tifa in canon, so like I don't know where you're getting this from.
I never said she voiced her in the movies. I just always thought I thought Tara Strong was the one that voiced her in the fight.
Nope. That was Tia
Fair
Ballard.
enough. Okay. Well.
AKA
My fight
Happy
now.
from
My love for
Fairy
that
Tail.
episode. You've just given me another reason why not to like this episode. So I was thinking, at least they got Barbara and Tara Strong. Actually, that wasn't Tara Strong. Well, fuck then. I don't like this episode. I thought they would at least got one of my
Ouch.
favorite actresses.
Bill, that's just on you.
Kevin's on me. Like,
It's still a reason that he doesn't like it. It's his opinion. Let him have it.
yeah.
Got it.
I will say, I
give
do think Tia was kind of she seems like a wonderful person. Just judging off the live stream they did.
Which Mate has, by the way.
He does.
We'll say
But
the reaction to the fight is more entertaining than the fight itself.
I can agree to that. I would just, I rewatched that fight too. I can somewhat see where Billy's coming from. Look, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
going to
can
be
too.
honest. Analysis-wise, for Tifa, it sucks because it's just a hype up.
yeah, I don't.
It literally.
I know
that
RPG
episode
characters were
exists-
rough to use at the time, but damn.
Okay, because
what-
that episode exists as a way. It existed as a way for us to get into Ruby, and it did a good job of that because that's how me and Mate became friends, and that's how we found each other.
And
However,
that's how I got into Ruby.
the unbiased person in me has to look at it and be like, yeah, this episode might as well just be Yang's hype man because Tifa's over there in the background just meh.
I am happy that the Death Battle community still kind of look at it positively, like, this got us into Ruby. I know Ruby's fan base is a bit divided these days, I'm not disputing that, but the fact that this show that I thought was just going to be niche, that I didn't even think was going to make it past season 3, but because I really feel like Death Battle did actually help its hype a lot, because Ruby's talked about everywhere, whether it's positive or negative, and for me, as a Ruby fan, I'm happy for that it's just being talked about, even if it is negatively. It's like, yay, my show can continue.
Yeah, no, and also too, I just want to say too is like, look, I also see why the Final Fantasy fans don't like this. Even Ben himself admitted that, yeah, I think we could have done this episode better in the research department. But also too, I just want to say for those who still believe it was Death Battle's idea to add a banner for the tournament in Volume 3 of Ruby, it was not their idea. They had no involvement in that. Rooster Teeth said, hey, can you advertise Volume 3's coming by having a banner over Tifa's corpse?
I don't think they
there's
specifically asked for that. That was just like the only
Just
way
needed
the
to
team
be
could
there.
actually implement it.
Well, either
I will
way,
say,
it wasn't
there's
Death
nothing
Battle's
wrong with
idea.
being an
That's what I'm saying.
I will say, I don't think Rooster Teeth specifically said, yeah, it needs to be over Tifa's corpse. I also will say the idea, like, I know this is kind of like duh, but it still needs to be said for some reason. The idea that Yang was basically chosen to win, it's like as like a promotion.
Ugh.
That's such BS. We all know it's BS. But
I want to make that clear as well. I don't hate this episode just because I think it was biased.
I just don't like this
at the same
episode on
time,
a research level.
I get it.
The animation is what saves it.
at the same time, it's like even though we all know that's BS, them putting it over Tifa's corpse is a little like okay. So it's like probably could have implemented that better, but okay. It's not exactly the greatest look. That's all I'm saying.
Well, hey, at least Tifa fans got their justice when Deadpool showed an alternate reality where Tifa snapped the Yang's neck. So,
I suppose
Good
there's
job.
that. I suppose. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to feel happy. At the time, I did like Yang. I guess that's my final point. The other thing that kind of ruins this episode for me in this day, then you guys can tear it apart as much as you want. As Ruby's gone on, it's kind of focused. When this episode first came out, I was a Yang fan, didn't care for Tifa. In fact, I didn't like her, really, from the few dialogues I saw online. And then, roughly many years later, I've played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and think Tifa's awesome. And not in a sexy way, I actually do think she's an adorable character. And it is kind of sad that she is considered everyone's waifu. It's like, she's adorable and funny. Yang, on the other hand, kind of not really my favourite Ruby girl anymore. It's actually Weiss. Weiss is best girl, I'm just saying that.
Can I take that a step further?
So well.
I don't think we would. No.
Trust me, I know them both. They wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
Me and Max, I feel like it's an unsaid thing that I don't think me and Max. Well, I'm not sure what I'm not saying I don't like him, but I don't think he likes me.
Also, too, I just
sad,
Weiss
but,
versus
you know,
Mitsuru
it
is
is
a
what it
better
is.
episode than this episode.
I
don't
hot
agree
take.
with that.
I actually agree. I went back to
Thank you,
rewatch that
Billy.
episode, and it's underrated. I will go into me and the lads are going to be doing a topic about a certain thing for that. So I'll save my thoughts on that.
You must
Yeah,
have
so this
hated my
episode just-
ranking the Rooster Teeth franchises video then, because that was my bottom pick.
Nah, because I don't think you would put that at the top, like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to it in general, just for Rooster Teeth fights.
No.
And it's like, okay, you know what? I don't see it as too negative, just that this one didn't work as well.
No.
Yeah, that's my final say. Because over the years I've liked Tifa more, it's hard to really enjoy that episode because it's a character I don't like now, and a character I do like.
Yeah,
And-
again, yeah.
And I kind of understand where a lot of people come from when you have to watch a death battle and you have to see a character you don't like kill your favorite. I kind of
Oh,
get that now because of
That
over
and
the
when
years.
they're just not represented the best research-wise, because don't you want to see
Yeah.
both characters be treated with equality? Just imagine if we lived in an alternate reality where Iron Fist did get the shit kicked out of him on both the analysis and the animation, showing that they're more biased towards Poe.
It's true, I suppose. Yeah. That's all I've got to say, really. Like, yeah, I just feel like my opinion on it hasn't changed, but I went into more details, and over the years, my opinion on it hasn't changed either.
I will say,
It's just, I will say, over the years, it's gotten worse, sadly.
for me, it's like, I don't know. It's like, again, it's kind of funny that this is back to back because, like, this is another episode that no matter how many times I watch it, I'm just like, I don't understand. I mean, I guess with this one, I can understand it more, like why people don't like it. But
Maybe
even
if-
still, I don't know. Maybe like I understand. I'm biased as all get out. I love Ruby. I love Yang.
Really,
So-
I can't tell.
Yeah, really. But I don't know. And even with how much respect I've grown for Tifa, it's like watching Max's Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII Remake gave me a huge boost of respect for Tifa. I went from thinking, man, I don't really care for this character to, oh, okay, this character's actually really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Even despite that, though, I can't find it in myself to dislike this fight whenever I go watch it.
Yeah.
It's like it's,
There is one argument I have seen that I just think is complete bullshit regarding this episode. People saying, oh, if Yang lost, no one would have checked out Ruby. That's bullshit.
That's
Yeah,
kind
no.
of false. That's
people checked out
factually
Ruby
false.
before the episode came out, so that no.
No,
still
yeah,
remember,
Not only
like,
that,
I still
It's
remember
so
one
many
time I
episodes-
was talking to somebody and they like this was a tinfoil hat thing and I thought it was stupid at the time, but it was something to do with like full screen, like trying to make it so that Yang won because if she lost they would lose money or something.
that's
Uh,
This
kind of
was
bullshit.
okay.
last time ago.
That's kind of the
I
sad
don't-
part about this episode is it came out
That's
at
not-
a time where Rooster Teeth and Death Battle were getting close to forming a partnership that they have now. And
okay,
people use this
okay.
episode as a tinfoil hat to say, oh, they did this episode on purpose and they made Yang one on purpose so that way it was Death Battle kissing Rooster Teeth's ass so they can be merged with them.
You can say what you like about the, the people who run Rooster Teeth now, minus, the animators, those guys are actually really cool people. Yeah, but this was before then, and at the time they didn't even plan a partnership. There was no plan for it at all.
No,
We're just like, oh,
it was just
we
a
both
happy
do
accident.
similar. Yeah, it was just because the episode did so well. They're like,
It was
Join?
convenient. It was convenient, or I guess inconvenient timing.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
whatever. It's just whatever.
You know,
unfortunate, really.
it is unfortunate.
I don't think an episode should be like some conspiracy theory about
No.
it.
No.
Yeah, what I was
Heckel
gonna say
Heckel
about-
should have done anything right now. They have said that if they did this fight now, Tifa would win.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Finally, I was going to say is that, yeah, if by their logic, episodes will do the official shows will do bad just because a show lost. Maybe you can make that argument for Black Hat versus Apocalypse. Maybe that's why the box office wasn't a success. But
Okay.
listen, I like that film. I can make fun of it. But
Let's chill out.
Homelander, he lost, and the boys are still getting mad views these days.
So much so that, hey, Amazon might as well be the king of streaming services right now.
I do agree. They're destroying it.
Yeah, got fucking Vox Machina, got the boys, got Invincible, and got fucking Batman. They're unstoppable.
Blake versus Mikasa. You know, Attack on Titan's still doing really well despite Mikasa lost.
What about Persona? Can that argument be made? Because I don't.
Persona's always gonna do well. It doesn't matter.
I just want to make sure because as you know, I've never played Persona.
But going back to the whole Attack on Titan thing, I'm pretty sure like months after that episode even came out, Call of Duty was like, "Hey, we're doing a crossover with Attack on Titan."
Yeah, so there you go.
They're doing they're doing so badly that the biggest FPS shooter of all time is like, want to do a crossover? Oh yeah, true. Death Battle's ruined Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Aaron getting Fortnite.
I was gonna say, Aaron Ball is not in yet, but he's getting in soon. Yeah,
he's very serious. Aaron is in Fortnite.
Yeah, this season of Fortnite.
Should mention not in his Titan form.
Well, no.
Just in his one.
I have a feeling if Mikasa skin's getting in, Mate's gonna play Fortnite just for that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I've made the joke. If Ruby ever gets in, Mate will buy it. He will get it. He and Amber will get it.
Dude, I've admitted that.
I know.
Yeah.
I've made the joke.
Mostly, I said that just because, you know, Aaron's getting in. Make shocked, there's probably gonna be more Attack on Titan characters.
Maybe.
Yeah, and
Right, I've said my piece, so you guys do what you want with it, and then let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
I'm ready to move on. I want to know what is Mate.
I guess. Well, I was gonna say I didn't actually give my. I don't know what I can say. Okay.
Well, just say
I guess
whatever you can.
I'll just try and make it quick. I don't know. I don't have any strong feeling towards this episode one way or another. I get why people dislike it. I can understand why people like it. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of there for me. I'll rewatch it. Every once in a while because I do actually really like the fight. It's just I don't have much strong feelings one way or another towards it. So, there.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, guess it's my turn. Yeah, I kind of said it on a previous discussion, and it hasn't changed. It probably never will change again. Because it's funny, because every time I ask this question to all of us, it's like I always have a different answer. I don't think I'm gonna have a different answer anymore. My least favorite episode is Starscream versus Rainbow Dash.
How dare you?
It's like I know it's funny because like on the lads side, I said like one of the things I said was it's like we have 3 pony episodes and I don't like any of them. This one and another one, but that's not important, are like bottom 2 least favorite episodes of the show.
It was kind of awkward when you joined one of our live streams when we were reacting to some classics.
Oh, I tuned out. When you got to Starscream Rainbow Dash, and came back the second it was over.
Oh my goodness.
He hates it that much. He knows the timing of how long the fight is.
Yep.
That's why if my most wanted, which involves Rainbow Dash, ever happens, I know BrobusCast is gonna be super annoyed.
If it's what I think it is, then yeah, probably.
It's what you think it is.
Okay, cool.
Stay tuned.
Heck,
You
even
need
if
to get
that
Lewis to do a commission for that.
heck, even if that one does happen, I might just listen to the music and call it a day.
Wow. So Z-Dog, I guess we're gonna be carrying that episode then.
Yeah. So it'll just be the cast.
Anywho's. It's kind of unfortunate too because this was the first one I ever watched. So it's like, it's just like, even when I heard about this from a friend and I was like, oh, I should probably check this out, or I found it like scrolling through YouTube. And I was like, oh, this is the thing my friend was talking about. He had already told me that Starscream lost. So I was like, well, I know I guess I know what I'm getting myself into, but I'm still like kind of curious, you know. But after a while, I was just like, okay, so I don't like this episode, but I never really considered it a least favorite because it still featured Starscream. You know, it's Transformers, a franchise that obviously means quite a bit to me. Starscream is a character I like quite a bit. But it's just the more the more I let my mind think about it, the more I'm like, they didn't really use Starscream much. Like they kind of like, it was kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like Starscream was disrespected. And it's not because
disrespected, man.
And it's not because, oh man, he lost to a pony. No.
He got some good shots in.
He got one good shot in with a weapon that's not meant to kill biological things. It's meant to kill.
At least it was something.
Oh yeah, that was like the only hit he landed.
He's the only hit he landed, aside from like.
Oh wait, technically also a slap.
Yeah, he got a slap. Oh gosh, the horror! I got slapped.
Can't deny though, one of the funniest moments is when she's flying towards him, and there's that little face he does. That was funny.
Yes.
Come on, that is funny. Like he sees the missiles coming back to him, he's all serious, and he's like,
Billy, you might as well stop now. Trying to get Bro to find any good in this episode is like trying to find a needle in a giant haystack. It's
I like the voice acting.
I've done that before. I could do it again.
Yes, I say that's the best part about that is its voice acting.
Yeah, I like the voice acting.
Which, by the way, would you believe that
The needle,
voice
guys.
actor
Pull out the needle.
What I don't
you
understand.
believe-
What I don't understand is why they had two different voice actors for Starscream.
That is a mystery to me. Maybe the
Hold on. I need some
Yeah.
behind-the-scenes story on this.
Okay. So
Okay,
Starscream
go ahead.
throughout the majority of the fight was voiced by a guy named Zach Wilson, who's kind of a nobody, honestly. At least I couldn't find anything on him. But when it was his spark, it was, and I kid you not when I say this, it was Jim Sterling.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Wait,
The
what?
Sterling.
The Jim Sterling.
controversial one.
No.
Yeah.
That guy.
And,
What?
And for the life of me, I don't understand why.
Maybe they couldn't get Zach back.
Maybe. I would have to. I think Ben or Chad would be the only two people who would know about that, because I don't even think the researchers back then were that well connected. So perhaps if, I don't know, Bro, maybe you should ask that. That's your panel question to ask Ben and Chad.
There you go.
I'll remind you. I will set a reminder.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's like, why did Jim Sterling replace? Yeah, sorry. Go
It's
ahead.
like, why did Starscream have two voice actors? Like, why not just keep the one?
Yeah. Record that. Like, have somebody record that footage so I can see the reasoning. I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah. I know, like, I
Also-
honestly can't comment on how accurate she is, but I mean, I did like Erica Mendez as Rainbow Dash.
Erica Mendez did
That
do a
was
good
great.
job as Rainbow Dash. She captured that energy, that cockiness, that bashfulness that Rainbow is known for. And for the longest time, I had no idea. Oh yeah, by the way, that's a bridge Chi-Chi doing Rainbow Dash.
I think you got your voice
Whoa.
actors mixed up there, bud.
I was gonna say, isn't Rainbow Dash Ryuko's voice actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just she voice of
Oh,
Rico.
you gave me
There you
false
go.
hope there. I was really thinking she also voiced for a bridge then for a moment. I was like, wow, Team 4-Star can get those type of actors these days? And I'm like,
no.
Richard, you gave me false hope.
I'm sorry.
This
I
close
feel-
to greatness.
No, I will say all the respect in the I will say, even though I despise this episode with a passion, all the respect goes for it to kind of kick off Erica Mendez's voice acting career.
Absolutely.
Because
Guys,
at the time she
found
was,
two needles in the haystack.
because at the time she was kind of like a nobody, I think. And then after a while, she's got these like big roles, including Ryuko. So.
You love to see.
Yeah, so there you go. The main thing that turns me off on this episode, and I said this before when we were talking about our first episodes, is it was reading Ben's Road to 100 blogs. Which, okay, I will be real, the Road to 100 blogs are freaking cool.
Absolutely. Very good insight.
But they kind of awoke something in me that I didn't really think about until later. It's Ben basically.
Spit it out, man.
It's basically Ben said if Starscream had won, they wouldn't have done it. It's,
Yes. No.
That's no brain though. That's no window.
That's a bit of a
yeah.
yikes, especially for Transformers fans, I can imagine.
yeah, if
we've-
Starscream had won, they would have scrapped the episode entirely
Right.
and moved on.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's just a thing. Like if the joke of your episode, like if you're doing a joke fight and the joke is that like the other character wins, like don't just scrap it if she doesn't. I mean, obviously she didn't. That didn't happen. But like if it
Right.
did, like that just rubs people.
Obviously they still wanted to be like they still did fair research on it. I don't know if I agree with it personally, but that's another story entirely.
Yeah.
But it's like
Rainbow Dash was more consistent than Starscream. Starscream was like they were mostly using Gen 1 for him, but then they threw in other shit too. So it's like, okay, well, which is it?
But yeah, so like it's not like they were like, okay, we're gonna do this fight and we're gonna have Rainbow Dash win. It's like it doesn't matter how much of a chance Starscream had. No, it was like, okay, we did the research and we came to the conclusion that Rainbow Dash wins. Thank God. Otherwise this joke would have fallen flat on its face. And I'm like,
So the only point.
I'm like,
Bill.
if that's the joke, like if the joke is pony win funny, then I don't get why I don't get why this episode was greenlit on that basis. It's like if the joke is we have to make it so that we have to like the joke only works if this character wins, then why freaking bother?
we kind of talked about rigging fights in the first place. We talked about a topic talking about rigged fights on lads. That's that's a no-no from it. And I'm kind of getting on your side now, and I do feel bad. You had to see us react to it and laugh at it.
Oh, here's the thing about this, okay? Because this was released back specifically, I have the date right here, September 23rd, 2011.
Yeah.
YouTube
Is that old?
was,
Yes.
11 years. YouTube was way different than it is nowadays.
Yes.
I mean, I think on the one hand it also works because when you tell your friend about who hasn't seen this, they're initially going to think, well, the giant robot obviously wins. You get them to watch the video. It shows them that the pony wins, and then they share it around that way. If Starscream would have won, I think honestly the episode would not have nearly 10 million views.
Okay, and I also just want to.
And you're right.
And let me
but
just
then why
say
bother?
this.
Again. It's like,
But see, here's the other thing too. Aside from what Sean just said, and I know Bro's opinions on MLP are one way or the other. But another thing this episode has to get respect for is, look, like it or not, this episode is what got me and other people into the show. This is how we became bronies. This is they did a good job of widespread
brownies. Can I have some?
Season. Yes, you may. They did a good job of showing, because again, before this episode, and hell, when the show was still going, people didn't know what to think of Gen 4 because they just assumed it was just going to follow the trend the past gens did. But it didn't. It did something different. It actually was, gasp, a modern day cartoon. So,
and even then, like
For a modern day cartoon.
My Little Pony had that stereotype at the time. It's like, oh, this is the cartoon for 4-year-old girls.
yeah.
Which was admittedly that
Gen
was
4 broke those.
That was the reputation that I felt that way too when I watched this for the first time. So I thought it was ridiculous that Rainbow Dash could beat Starscream. But I mean, obviously I know better now. I still don't really want to get into the show, but obviously I know better than to be like, oh, it's the baby show for babies. No. But even still, it's like again, if the joke is that the character that you don't expect to win, because obviously, like, you look at it, it's a giant robot with plenty of weapons versus a cartoon horse that's like 3 feet, that's like 3 foot tall. It's like you look at that, it's like, wow, gee, I wonder who wins. And then you watch and you're like, oh, the pony's actually freaking ridiculous. Go figure. But like, I feel like you could get that joke across even if Rainbow Dash had lost. So it's like,
Yeah.
like you could get that across even if Rainbow Dash lost. So why is it then that that you feel like the joke only works if she wins? If that's the case, then why bother? It's like, imagine if she did lose, then it's like, oh well, that's freaking 2 weeks of blood, sweat, and tears that were just wasted. It's like, well then, what did you expect? You know, I don't know. This episode will always rub me the wrong way. I understand it's like, oh, I'm a Transformers fan. I get that. It's like, obviously,
One day, BrobusCast, you're just gonna have to get back on the horse. That's all I'm saying.
You know what's
that-
kind of funny? I just realized
Pun?
this. No, you want to know what the episode after that one was? Apparently, that was episode 17. Episode 18 apparently was Chief versus Doom Guy.
yeah,
Talk about a tone shift.
Yeah.
yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, I guess that trend of cartoon characters onto grittier stuff continues all these years.
Oh my god, they pulled something they did in season 9 all the way back in season 1.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It was always the plan.
Anyways,
Just
yeah,
happy
so that's-
coincidence.
So yeah, learning that this episode will always be my least favorite. So I don't think this is ever going to change ever again. I apologize to any My Little Pony fans that I offend in any discussion, but I guess now especially this one, since this is the one we're on. But you don't screw my favorite franchise over like that and expect me to be okay with it.
It would get better 7 years later because Optimus Prime would win.
It's actually really funny you say that, but we're not gonna get to that just yet.
Speaking of opinions that are changing, I wonder if Richard's least favorite has changed over the years, just like his names.
Richard in 2025, I'll be known as Baby Prince. And Ruby fans, if you're watching, you'll get that reference.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Oh man, I can't believe the spotlight's on me.
Yep, enjoy it.
Oh boy. You know what? It has changed. But it's not going to be good.
Audible. Yeah.
Audible gasp.
No.
My least favorite. My least favorite is Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees.
Wow.
Really?
That's
Okay.
of a change.
Oof. To be fair, that was my least favorite of the last season, but of all time, I don't think I can even put it close to even the top 10 worst.
Let me just say this: all of my other least favorites, Twilight versus Raven, Wonder Woman versus She-Ra, Blake versus Mikasa, all of those.
Yeah, we don't need to hit all of them. Just
just
I'm
you know,
just
the
listing
one.
examples. I'm just listing examples. All of them are at least more entertaining and have something I can grab onto or be familiar with than this fight. I was never a big fan of Halloween or Friday the 13th. I appreciate
And like
that
that,
this was
I am getting the mask and kitchen knife.
okay.
Phil,
Good.
why are you gonna give Richard something for an episode you also ranked at the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh,
hypocrite.
okay, I would have been fine if he said he didn't like this episode, but the fact he had to go ahead and say Halloween's terrible, I'm like, bitch has got to get
not
snapped
what he
now.
said. That's not what he said. He just said he's not a fan of Halloween or
Yeah,
Friday
don't
the
put
13th.
words in my mouth.
It means the same to me.
Hello, hello, Black. I'm Kettle.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, exactly.
I can admit, I'm a
Anyway,
hypocrite. I'm not going
why
to dispute that. I'm a hypocrite.
Oh,
Anyways.
why specifically Jason versus Michael?
it just wasn't. It was just something that was not done well in execution, and I really feel like it sacrificed more time on its analysis than its actual animation.
I can understand
That's-
that. I do think the analysis is like the best part about that episode, just because of its
for
unique
sure.
idea.
Yeah, no. And Devil Artemis did. He did the best he could. The man was going through a lot. He
Bless
was on
his
the
heart.
verge of losing his. he was on the verge of losing his house, for God's sakes. You know,
Jesus.
because of the hurricane that hit Florida. He was affected by that. He wasn't even getting paid that much from other people. So I appreciate all the work he did, but he was not one man who could tackle this in the best way. He tried his best, God bless his heart, but I just feel like they should have not done this fight. They should have saved it and given him more time, or at the very least, just fucking do your best you can to make it live action, and that'll be that, because this fight doesn't work in animation. It had to be in live action, but I commend them for trying.
The problem with it being in live action, that I will say, because, you know, as someone who's done theater for years, the budget would not have been there, like, at all.
No.
Just for one day of filming, that's at least $3,000.
I do agree this fight would have worked better as live action. The animation definitely looks like it was more planned for live action. And Richard is gone.
Nah, but, like, honestly, I remember when this fight got announced, a lot of people got excited for it, because when you talk Halloween or horror fights, Jason versus Michael, I argue, was the biggest one.
This is the big boy one.
Yeah.
The cream of the crop of all horror matchups. Which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get being disappointed about it, but, like, I don't know. I still kind of feel bad just overall for what happened, but, and I don't know. I don't think it's
You guys
that bad.
actually, I remember Bill brought this up in his ranking video, but you guys, when you did a ranking, you actually had John Mitchell, storyboarder, on.
The same
He
John
actually talked
Mitchell.
about that.
Johns of the Mitchells.
Yep. The famed John of Legends.
Yeah, he talked about Jason versus Michael, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, I did.
Like, I'm trying to remember the exact quote from Bill's video. It was like, he was saying that this was written as a live action fight, right?
It was
Okay, to be
it was
clear.
something along those lines. I think
Yeah, I
It
said
was
it was
something along those
somewhat written
lines.
for that.
I'm going to be coming in and out because I am on my way to get my brother, and I don't want you guys to hear my girlfriend's car.
okay.
Understandable.
So,
I think.
Should we wrap up your opinion then, Richard?
I think people are. I mean, the only person I've seen, I say people as if the only person I've seen comment on this, on what he said was Bill. But I think what he meant by that, I'm assuming anyway. Obviously, he's not here, so I can't I'm basically speaking for him. But I think what ended up happening was it was written like with like, you know, maybe it can be a live action fight. You know, keep that in mind. You know, it's like on the off chance we can make it live action, but there was still that like, okay, yeah, it will probably still be animation, but
I think something that also hurts is look at Jason's model. Normally, when you think Jason, you think like a big hulking guy, but he's just not that.
I mean,
No, he's not. And again, it just comes off as the animation just comes off as it's trying to be a tribute to 70s grindhouse style, and
interesting.
Any more you want to add to that?
I think honestly though, I do wish this episode could have been better. The analysis, I think, saves it for me from keeping it at the worst episode of last season.
Yeah.
honestly, even the analysis can only go so far because, again, yes, the analysis was good, but if I was just to judge it based off that, then this episode would be a 10 out of 10. I can't judge it based off that. So realistically, I've just never been into this matchup unless it was done in live action. I mean, hell, Bat in the Sun actually had Michael Myers in one of their special Halloween beatdowns, and that was actually more entertaining than this fight. That's unfair, yes, but it's proof that, okay, you can't do this fight in animation. It just doesn't achieve the same effect. It's trying to, but it just fails to capture it. Ironically, James Bond versus John Wick, it got away with this a little bit better because it had the benefit of doing things that arguably would cost a lot to do in live action. This would have cost them like Sean said, this would have cost them no more than $3,000.
You're not getting a spinning Aston Martin and a dropping chandelier in live action. That's not happening.
Right.
I just picture when that happens unintentionally. Like, wow, you were really good there. Is he okay? Oh,
Yeah,
tell everyone it was practical effects.
But yeah, no. So again, it really just comes down to this fight was never for me, and I think it would have been better if it had been in live action because then I actually would have liked it even more. But realistically, it's just a fight that had so much potential for other fans of this, and in my opinion, I don't think it did that good of a job. I mean, if it did for other people, that's good. I'm happy. I'm happy you got it. As long as you can say you got your matchup, that's good. But if you wanted them to go all out and make it feel special and eventful, then this is probably a disappointment to you. It's a disappointment to me, and I'm not even a hardcore fan of these two characters. I mean, I was always more of a Freddy Krueger guy myself.
You get partial points for that.
Thank you.
Let you live now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Papa Billy.
Papa Billy. Jesus.
Oh boy.
I feel uncomfortable now. All
right, and with that, we're moving on. You guys need to stop picking episodes. You guys need to stop picking episodes I like, I swear.
It's not our fault. We have varying opinions. If we had the same exact opinion, we would be boring.
Yeah. All right, mate.
All right, so
I guess it's your
Z-Dog
turn
now, isn't it? Oh no, it's
mate.
Nope, mate.
Screw
Mate,
you, Billy.
Yeah, because M comes before. Oh my god, I'm a fucking idiot.
Why? Not M.
Why? Why?
M would come first.
So, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, right, yeah, Z-Dog and Z comes. You know what I
just
meant.
may go.
Yeah, mate, just go, please.
Okay, so last time I was asked this question, my pick was Pikachu versus Blanca. Is it the same? I still don't feel great about that episode, but I've thought about it some more. I think there are other episodes I like a bit less.
Oh wow, that's actually cool. Legit surprise.
Yeah, there's like the obvious like, oh yeah, bad episode, which is Beaver versus Black, but let's not.
Yeah, no.
Let's just morally agree that's the worst episode to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had
there you
least
go.
favorites. And yeah, I've had least favorites of a season, like Korra v Storm, for example.
Yeah.
But the episode I'm going to focus on is Peach versus Zelda.
Really? No,
Dang.
you do not disrespect my girl.
Wait, okay, so
No, this is
No,
interesting.
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The very first 5 seconds is them calling the both characters worthless.
Okay, I will admit, yeah, analysis-wise, not good justice.
No. Like, say whatever you will about how various other characters were represented, whether it be, like, analysis or animation, but the whole analysis, it's just them, like, insulting both characters.
I will say, early
It felt
Peach
more
and Zelda, I get it, but I don't think you
more
can say that
insulting
now.
it felt more insulting on the Peach side, honestly. The Zelda side was okay.
In fact, even back then, there were games when Peach defeated Bowser by herself.
She literally has her own spin-off game.
She
Yeah.
fought alongside Mario against Bowser.
I will say, I think one of the best parts about this was just that upset value. Like, no one I knew expected the outcome that was that episode.
No.
Death was still awesome. I loved that death because I wasn't expecting it. I was thinking, like, I don't know, it was just going to be like a cheesy little incineration or something like that. No, full-on football kicking her head off. I was like, brah, that was sick.
All right, but what?
Also, the Zelda sprite.
Oh, the Zelda sprite is so bad.
Yeah.
That's legit.
That's
The
yeah.
sprite from Super Smash Flash 1.
Yep.
It's
rough.
so bad. What they did is they literally
ugly.
what they did is what Lang did was that he basically like took video or whatever from Zelda's movements in Smash Brothers and pixelated the crap out of it, and that's what we got. It's not very good.
Which I mean, I get it if you didn't have any other resources to go with, but like there had to be some good Zelda sprites at the time. Like, come on. Yeah.
I will admit though, there were some funny moments in this fight, like them just throwing
Who the people
fireballs
they got-
versus turnips. I don't know why.
Yeah.
but I
People they got to
stuck by
work
that
on that
was
sprite
cool.
from.
And the whole joke with the Vive Scepter, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
You heard pixelated sprite? Maybe it was done by the team that censor all Law of Order episodes.
Huh.
It's an American joke for you people.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. This isn't really an episode I think about very often. So I heard this one. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I don't hear people talk about this one much anymore.
Also,
bad
ending both analysis with just like, oh, just sleep with him already.
Is it bad
Oh,
that
boy.
I think
I thought that was
Peach-
funny. That was funny.
It was funny at the time, but then after a while, it's just like, why?
aged like milk?
Yeah.
Literally,
bad,
people
though?
say let Mario and Peach
Yeah,
get
that-
together.
And I mean, yeah, that's how you get cheese, but
I mean,
Okay.
For a guy, mate, for a guy that has constantly gone about Blake and Yang just kiss already, I'm surprised you get offended at that joke.
that's actually kind of valid in a way.
yeah, but except
Yeah, well-
like with them, it's just like, oh, this guy saves you, just put out already. With me and Bumblebee, it's just like these two are cute together, and they've been building this up for a long time.
Don't dance around it, man. Don't dance around it.
I do want to ask: is it bad that I still think Peach wins that debate?
Oh no,
Oh, no,
she
she absolutely does.
slaughters Zelda. Like,
Oh yeah, she destroys.
no.
Yeah, no.
Peach,
Zelda.
even
no,
the highest Zelda
Peach,
stats.
Zelda does not stand a ghost of a chance against anybody in Mario. Like, not even remotely close.
Or
Yep.
Zelda?
I will say the
Wait, hold on,
explanation on the kill is stupid.
Oh, it's dumb.
It is
the
so
whole-
stupid.
The whole like,
Soccer
oh, she
ball.
kicked a soccer ball into 3. No, she didn't. But okay.
Oh, that's not really as impressive due to the other things Mario carries done. Like, you are aware she can also shatter bricks like Mario, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Also-
Oh no, the kicking of
Also,
football was.
Z-Dog,
Plus,
correct
if
me
you
if I'm
wanted to,
wrong,
you could have scaled
No.
Peach to Daisy, who was able to slap Bowser in the face and send him
Yeah.
flying across the horizon.
Send him flying
Shit,
into the
you know
sky.
that as a thing that Daisy has done.
Yep.
Really?
Thank you, Mario Party 3.
Yep.
Yep, Mario Party 3.
That's
to look that
not
up, that
canon to
sounds
the mainline
hilarious.
series.
What
Yeah,
Mario
I'll
game is
be in the
canon?
detail.
it's
Mario
not-
has no
Mario
canon.
Mario has no canon. It's Popeye, basically.
Only Mario storyline you could say is canon is the Rabid crossover.
Anyway, Z-Dog, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Peach a star child?
Yes.
Okay,
She is
so-
one of the 7 star children.
Okay, so there you go. You scale her to other star children. It's like, and that basically slaughters Peach right then and there, or Zelda, I mean.
There you go.
I was about to say.
There you go, bro.
I wanna see if this is true or not. Old Daisy thing.
What? Is there? I can definitely understand the analysis at least, especially for Peach has not aged that well.
Boomstick, is
Oh my god, she did!
Boomstick is misogynistic. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do think the actual fight is actually not that bad.
The fight's
Yeah.
fine. It's just like, again, it's like
Yeah,
the
it's alright.
the ugliness of the Zelda sprite, and I don't know. It's fine, but it just doesn't click with me.
I do wish we would have gotten some Sheik action though. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. But
I
guess
like how
not.
everyone at the time was like, "Why didn't she transform into Sheik? She would have won then." No, stop.
No.
Just stop.
No.
Nope.
Oh, shall we get to our favorite? And then
You
forgot about
Why are you
me?
forgetting?
Oh, shit. Sorry, Z-Dog, I'm sorry.
Why
I'm
are you
sorry,
forgetting
Z-Dog.
Bill so much?
Bill,
Well,
Bill, I'm
okay.
starting hungry too, but come on.
Bill,
Okay, well,
Bill forgot to. Bill, are you okay?
May, is there anything else you wanted to say about Zelda Peach before? Because I don't want to steal your spotlight.
I'll just add that it's like if we're gonna have like any other fights be like remade, I think this is a prime candidate, or just give them different opponents and treat them better.
That too.
Yeah. Let's get
I
Zelda.
totally agree.
Let's get Zelda in to finish the Triforce users getting 2
Triforce
episodes and they
back.
lose.
Yeah. This should have a popular.
We'll say the clip
yeah,
that
we've seen it,
Z-Dog
right,
just
yeah.
posted, I definitely want to see Daisy in a death battle now. Just saying.
Yeah. Daisy, Lola, Bunny, anyway, let's not get into that right now.
I actually agree with that. That would be hilarious.
I mean, I don't know if that is my favorite, but that's a discussion for another day. Anyway, my least favorite.
Yeah, Z-Dog.
I'm gonna be boring and not change.
You're not changing yours, are you?
Yeah. No,
Hey, to be fair,
I'm not gonna be
mine hasn't
funny.
changed either.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told,
No bros, no builds.
truth be told, I don't really go in my mind I don't really like go out and like think like, oh, this is my least favorite. So like I think I just stick with this one because like I don't like have any like any of the other episodes that aren't Beaver Black I don't like have like a major problem with, or like I don't like hate. I don't know, this one just it's all right. I mean, I don't know. I just find it.
It's Cammy versus Sonya, by the way, in case it wasn't clear.
I remember the
I said that.
original
I said that, didn't I?
episode. I hated
Did
that
he?
original
Oh.
thumbnail.
Oh yeah, the original thumbnail was in. So. But yeah,
will
I mean,
say,
I don't know. I
in
mean,
terms of like both the games they're from, it's not really as fast paced as the franchises they're from.
It's also
Yeah.
ugly.
it's also very ugly. Yeah, same guys. Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter Space.
Especially when they try to do close-ups with Sonya, like, oh,
Cammy. Honestly, Cammy was worse.
Yeah.
They didn't really make the best girl look that good.
I do think there are some
Unfortunately.
good things about the fight, at least. Like Sonya using Kano as like a shield of some sort. That was pretty clever.
Okay,
That was funny.
man. Like in the actual series, he gets trashed on, and even in death battle.
Dude, him and Liu Kang are ironically the only 2 original MK characters that have not gotten on the show yet.
Yeah, that's true, man.
It's
When are we
still-
getting Kano?
Let's fix that.
It still baffles me that we haven't had Liu Kang yet.
Somehow.
I don't even know if we could get him. Now we're God now.
bad,
Before
yeah.
he was just a martial artist when people requested him.
Gosh.
Is
But
there
I mean,
something- I was gonna say, go on, like, was there anything else specific, or just like the way everything looked?
I don't know. It's just, well, the analysis is just kind of boring. Like I said when I talked about Boba Fett Predator, I originally find the more boring episodes worse because like at least with like some other episodes I have like, oh, that was funny. Ironically, that's just it's just a slog to get through. I don't really like the way Cammy was like treated because like I don't know, it just it just felt kind of mean towards her from what I remember of it. It's just, I don't know, just find it a real slog to get through. And the animation, while there are some cool parts to it, and I like the music choices, it's just, it doesn't do a lot for me. Yeah, the episode as a whole just doesn't really do a lot for me. And like, I don't know, and I don't really go out and like try and find episodes that I dislike. So like this firmly sets as my least favorite episode.
I think something else that kind of drags the animation down is towards that ending. It's all like a gigantic orange blob, and it's really hard to see things.
Yeah.
The death. I think the death is pretty brutal.
Yeah, death is fine.
The death is alright.
I really thought they were gonna do. I thought they were gonna do like the classic. She just pulls her legs and rips her apart. No, she straight up just squeezes her like a tomato.
Yeah.
And then Shao Kahn just going finish her. Like, that was a nice little touch.
I feel like the squeezing thing was probably an animation error, but okay. Because Sonya's sprites couldn't do the full split, you know?
That's why I thought, because of limitations, they just thought, squeeze!
I like how it took Sonya's husband, Johnny, to make it so MK sprites look cool again in Death Battle.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
god.
can thank Muggin for that, I think. So I'm pretty sure his sprite was just taken from there. New Gen, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the big thing. I'm glad that we're not using the live-action Mortal Kombat sprites anymore.
I have a soft spot for them because I love the classic Mortal Kombat games, but obviously for Death Battle quality, yeah, I can see why the change.
Actually, kind of even weirder that the one before that was Scorpion, and that sprite looked fantastic.
Yeah, honestly. Like,
Wait, no.
Whoopsie.
Wait, no, mate. Sub-Zero vs. Glacius came out before Cammy Sonya.
no, it didn't.
No, it
That's
didn't.
wrong. That is
No, it
is
didn't.
incorrect.
Okay, I always get
That's
those
the
two mixed
episode.
up.
Yeah, no, Cammy Sonya was season 3, and then Sub-Zero Glacius was season 4.
No,
but
so,
Death Battle, I think, is underrated.
Yeah, Scorpions compared to Sonya look miles better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Just overall, this just feels rough and a slog to get through. I will appreciate it for bringing in Luis because this was his first
Yeah, I was about to
animation. But
say.
like otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, I'll just pass on this one, honestly. So
I do have one funny thing that came out, like, sort of from this episode, and it just goes into Tracer vs. Scout, the following episode, actually.
Funny that.
Before that came out, I just put in the comments, just like, look, I'm rooting for Tracer because can a British character finally win?
yeah.
And Max responded to that with just like, what are you talking about? Wait, hold on. Huh. Actually, yeah, every British character so far has lost.
Dang.
To be fair,
Oof.
do we Brits ever deserve to win? If you look at our history,
Yeah, deserve
probably
to.
deserving we've lost more death battles.
That chick.
Probably.
Yeah, but America's, like, itching to take that title.
Okay, this is getting too political. Let's move on.
Yep, let's move on.
I was just doing positivity.
Hey!
Jesus Christ, mate.
All right, favorite episodes. We're done with the negativity. Thank God.
Yay.
So yeah, let's go down the list again. Hopefully Richard comes back by the time we get to him.
That's not. We'll just skip it and come back.
Yeah. So Sean, what's your favorite episode?
I know you guys can't hear it, but I'm putting on the jacket of one
Oh,
of a
here
character
it
from my
comes.
favorite episode. Because it used to be Boron versus TJ. There we go. Yeah, it's Madara versus Aizen. Big shocker.
To the shock and surprise of, I'm sure, somebody.
Who would have seen that coming?
Steve the Elephant, he's like, oh, I didn't know that.
No. This was my most wanted for years, and I think it was executed well. I've even gotten art from other people I know who knew I loved the episode of it, and it's all come out really great.
I made a lyric video on this one.
Yes, and it was really well made, and it's a very highly viewed video.
I got this positive towards it. Oh, it was on my second favorite.
I think it was. I think that lyric video is at like what 10K plus views now at this point.
Is it? I've actually haven't kept up. I'm gonna check.
I think it's close to that.
Mhm.
But this Madara vs. Aizen was an episode that I've wanted for years and years. Oh yeah, no, it's actually over 5K views. Over 5K, not 10K.
Okay.
5K.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've liked Madara vs. Aizen as an idea.
Meanwhile, Suit Yourself only has not even 400. Guys, what the heck?
I should
man,
watch
I like
Robuscast
that.
lyrics videos. They're actually well made.
I only have 2. I need to do better with that.
Maybe he'll make the one for the soundtrack of Raiden vs. Excalibur. Who knows?
Yeah, but that means I have to draw Raiden again. And the thought of that terrifies me.
I mean, it's not as bad as
Anyway.
Sauron. I know Sauron was a lot more difficult.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But let's see. How can I describe this episode for me as being really awesome in so many different ways? It was my first ever Death Battle I reacted to on my channel, for Christ's sake.
That's true.
I pulled out the Aizen cosplay for it and everything, which, by the way, still fits me. I especially love the jacket. Analysis.
Only that.
Go ahead.
Not only that, it was the top most rated of our ranking list of that season.
It was, which genuinely shocked me.
It's a good episode. What can I say? For me, it was my second favorite.
I actually forget where it landed on ours.
You guys had it at number 7, I believe.
Yeah, it was relatively low compared to everything else. It's fine.
It made top 10. I'm fine.
There you go.
For sure, the matchups could go to the top 10. I see how it is.
It's okay, Bill. Maybe next time. But honestly, though, the analysis, fantastic for both Madara and Aizen. They handled them very well. Despite, I know a lot of people were saying, oh, Death Battle can't handle Bleach well, I don't believe that sort of stuff. I think they did really good with Aizen.
I can't handle Bleach well either. I tried to use it, went into my eyes. I was on the floor for hours.
Oh, gosh.
God damn it, Billy.
We're screaming, Ichi, no!
God damn you.
I really should have seen that coming.
I worked way
This is
too
what
hard on that one.
This is what I dealt with leading up to this. So many Bleach puns from Bill and Mate.
Of course.
Welcome!
Let's see.
I was way too
The
proud of that
analysis
one.
great. The fight, oh my god, was this fight awesome for sprites. Custom sprites for Madara, Aizen, and their transformations. They all look so clean. They all look so dope. The voice acting for these two, I would argue, was the best of season 8.
Someone needs to get Nico Sangerlili a beer.
Yes, I mean, give this man something. Like, Nick did fantastic with Madara. I think even Neil Kaplan. I think Neil Kaplan even saw like his tweet and gave it a like when he heard that he was voicing him. He was like, "Yay!"
Heck yeah.
This episode was hype.
Yeah.
And then Philip, but my favorite was definitely Philip as Aizen. Even though it wasn't, exactly Cameron, I think Philip did a phenomenal job. Jeff was creative, and obviously Hollow Dreams is one of the best soundtracks of season 8. For me, it's my personal best, but I know for Mate, it's up there.
We'll get to
Not
that.
his personal.
Yeah, we will.
Yes, we'll get to talk about Corvus Storm in a bit.
I can hear his disappointment.
It's funny because they're the same season.
I can hear the inner seething from Mate.
Oh boy.
Anyways, yeah, Hollow Dreams is fantastic.
Absolutely.
And I think the analysis, I remember I said this specifically, that the reason Madara was going to win was he's slightly stronger and had more in his arsenal. And that was legitimately the reason that they came up with for the end analysis.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but when you can call like a reason why, and then they say it in that episode, that's somewhat satisfying.
Oh, believe me, I know. My reaction to the verdict of Black Adam versus Apocalypse was basically that.
Okay.
And I will be talking about that as well.
Yeah, I love the episode so much. Brought me to tears and everything, and just to see the support I got, the art I got from that episode, I love it. One of them's a desktop background for my computer right now.
Right,
And
he's following me.
all in all, I just really love this episode. And while Ball Christmas Siege is always going to have a good spot on overall death battles, it's going to take something astronomical for Madara vs. Aizen to be topped.
Makes sense.
I shall pass along to Bill, I guess, unless you guys want to add anything about Madara v. Aizen.
No, I don't know much.
I mean,
not I'm not really a
just very
Naruto
solid,
or Bleach
very good.
fan, so I can't really comment much. But yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, so I'm glad you had fulfilled your dreams. Your hollow dreams.
It made my dreams not so hollow anymore, I'll say that much.
Yeah.
There
It's
you go.
fulfilled dream.
Yeah, I'm
Hey.
more or less the same way.
Yeah.
All right, Billy, what you got for us?
Billy time.
I kind of already talked about it on my channel, but I kind of changed my mind lately. It's Korra versus Storm now. That is my all-time favorite. It's just such an amazing episode. I love talking about it.
It's ironic that you had that the highest out of the last for our ranking. Funny enough.
Okay, look, I'll briefly say it's a good episode. Not my all-time favorite though. It did make me like Korra.
Okay, thank
We'll say
God.
that. But let's go on to what is I truly think. I'm gonna be honest. This is the best death battle ever. Omni-Man versus Homelander.
Ooh.
I am shook.
You know, I
I'm
honestly
sorry.
I legit thought you were going to pick Popeye versus Saitama.
It was close. Those two, believe it or not, in my head, they're always fighting. Like, we're Bill's favorite. No, we are.
But why Omni-Man versus Homelander?
Yeah. So it used to be actually Ghost Rider versus Lobo. That was just beautiful. It's
That was
artistic.
good too, yeah.
Omni-Man and Homelander were like, hold our beers. Well, I guess hold my beers, Bill, because Homelander's dead. And I tried that beer, and it was delicious. Because, obviously, The Boys TV show came out. I loved it. It's perhaps one of the best superhero materials we've had in a long while. 'Cause I was starting to feel that sort of superhero fatigue in cinemas. Then The Boys came, I was like, here's something new. And Invincible came along, and I was like, here's something else that's really new. And I even went ahead to read The Boys comics. Boy, I regret that.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Then I read the Invincible comics. I was like, okay, then I got a bad, but I got a good from this. I don't want to say anything about the Invincible comics because if people are just getting into the show, but I will say we're in for some fucked up shit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Like, I've never felt more bad for a superhero until I saw Invincible. So, as the fight itself, Omni-Man versus Homelander. First of all, these two are great villains in their TV shows. Homelander, you just love to hate, but he's so entertaining to watch. And Omni-Man is really intriguing. He's a really good character, especially in the comics. And of course, though, he's a character you were going to root for regardless. Like, if somehow Homelander had more advantages, you were going to root for Omni-Man.
Yeah, you're not morally rooting for Homelander.
Homelander is a character you love to hate. Even the actor in the death battle was like, I'm really happy that Omni-Man kicked the shit out of him.
Yeah, Young Yi or is it Young Yi? How do you
Yeah,
pronounce it?
I'm actually subscribed to him.
Young.
I didn't know he was
pronounced.
voicing him. Didn't know he was voicing him until I
phenomenal.
saw him in the comics. Because I've watched his videos. They're really good, like video game news stuff.
Bro, that episode's closing in on 10 million. It's on 9.3.
Are you serious? Hold on.
9.3 million.
Yes, I'm
Right
so
now.
happy. So, this episode's just so much hype. If I never saw The Boys or Invincible
my
TV
gosh.
shows, I wouldn't have cared because
Hold on, Bill. Almost 400,000 likes.
yes, it deserves it, man. This episode's
Yeah.
so good. It's hand drawn. It's bloody. The death. Oh my god, the death. It's beautiful. I want that. I want that on my wall. I want that over my PC.
So you can
Just like-
I'm
imagine.
back.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Hey, I'm
you're
just
on
gushing
Bill's
about.
one away.
I know.
Well,
I never left. I've been hearing everything.
Okay, I've talked a lot about it on my ranking list, so I won't go on too much, but the death, animation, beautiful. And I was really convinced they somehow got J.K. Simmons to come back as On-Man. I was like, I don't believe this
Yeah.
is another guy. Just
It's
that
another
good.
guy.
I'm still in Battle Bites, he's really good. And just his lines, like the first line he says, I'm gonna feed you your own heart. I was just smiled at that. I'm like, but I feel like he's being literal.
Once again, I'm mirroring. Tom Selleck deserves a beer.
Yes, he does. He deserves 5 beers.
So imagine Bill's surprise when we did, not only did it not make top 5 on the lads list, it didn't make top 5 on the BrobusCast list.
Okay, listen. I'm
All
sorry.
around me are familiar
Yeah.
faces.
Okay,
worn out
looking back,
faces.
I mean, I know I said it in our ranking. I do still kind of feel bad that I wasn't able to rank it higher, but I mean, I still like the episode. Okay, it's just
At least it made the top 10, Bill. At least it made the top 10.
It's
I do
true.
remember that.
That is true. But because
Yeah.
it didn't get on there, this is all I had to say to you guys. Not sure if you could hear that.
I can't.
Phone quality's not great.
I can't hear
So,
that.
it was the Donkey Kong Now You Die meme. That's all you need to know.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
Seth
okay.
Rogen. Okay.
But yeah, that's
Yeah,
all I
but
gotta say. The episode's really good, and
Yeah,
Sadness
I actually
promotion.
have-
If you want to hear my full thoughts, there's my ranking video.
I also had the combined rankings actually pulled up for when we talked about Omni-Man Homelander. Bill had it the highest.
Oh,
What was with Z-Dog at 13?
14. Yeah. Oh,
Wait,
wait,
you
no.
want to repeat that? You want to run that by me again?
I didn't count Excalibur versus
I
Raiden.
yeah, I
with the
forgot.
combined math.
I forgot you. Yeah, I forgot you did that. Okay, yeah. Then 13. Yeah.
All I gotta say is, Liam, you sick motherfucker. I love you.
Yeah.
Z-Dog, I sent you a message. Just saying.
Liam's got a sick mind, and I kind of love him for it.
I would say it's sicker than Chad's.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
even hard to believe. No, yeah. Given my just quick thoughts on this, I loved this fight, and unlike the majority of people who were like, "Man, this fight sucks. This is the worst of the season. This is worse than the series because what's the point of doing this?" Omni-Man
I've rarely
obviously
seen
wins.
the only people I've seen that didn't like it are your only mate and now Z-Dog. Two people who
I said I liked it.
It's not a matter of
not
they
enough.
didn't like
You didn't like it enough. That's all I'm
It's
asking.
not a matter of they didn't like it. It's just they hate it. That's the problem. They hate it with a burning passion because of how much of a stomp it is, and they kind of miss the goddamn point.
I've
like-
not seen men. I've at most I've seen 5 people say it's terrible.
I've seen, trust me, in the official Death Battle Discord server, I've seen it. People there do not like it. Even when I've seen personal,
Discord are always complaining.
I've seen it on Twitter too. But aside from
Twitter's
that,
worse.
sorry, Z-Dog.
Yeah.
Twitter is worse. Z-Dog, sorry to cut you off, Z-Dog, but go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. I don't. Like I said, season 9 was just really hard to rank, and I probably would have retroacted if I was to go through it again. I probably would have retroactively bumped it a few spots up, but yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to season 9, I probably would have had. I probably will have a different order if I ever go back and rewatch the whole season. But just like incidentally, it's like I'll probably just rank it higher off like instinct or something.
I will say before Bill can finish his point, props to Diabolically Invincible Me for being the first soundtrack to get 1 million plus views on Brandon's channel.
I love that sound. Just the lyrics sound like a horror theme.
But just to give my thought, like my overall thoughts, I love this fight. I do love this animation. I love the analysis, even if it accidentally spoils Omni-Man's ending. Thanks a lot, whoever edited that.
Whoopsie.
I love the overall point of it, and I wouldn't lie. That end death, it is arguably the best end death, not just of last season, but it's a top contender for the best death of all time, just because of how hard it goes.
Absolutely. One thing I think we, all of us lads, I'm not sure what it is for you bros, but last year's season deaths were kind of ranged from worse, being terrible, to just mediocre. But this season, this episode, this episode was like, listen, we'll be the golden chainsaw. Nothing's ever gonna top this.
Yeah,
No, and which is
argue-
why.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this is the best death of last season.
Yeah, no.
I'm
by the way,
I'm gonna be the controversial one and disagree.
Yeah,
I would argue about it. I've already spent
I like Black Adams more.
Black
I
Adams is
honestly
fine. I do agree. If Black Adams is fine, I do agree. But in terms of overall gore, like, dude, Black Adam's actor wasn't legitimately crying when he had to imagine his head getting
all the respect in the
smushed
world goes
like
to
a
Yang Ye.
brick.
He was insane.
Like,
What?
just love that image where Homelander's getting his head crushed, and you see a tear in his eye, like, because he's feeling that.
He's afraid. It's like I pretty much I said this in our discussion when they mentioned the bully comparison. It's like Omni-Man it's like Homelander was a bully who got the shit beat out of him by a bigger, more experienced bully. And the
Speaking
fact
of
that
that,
they-
Yeah, how's it feel, douchebag?
yeah, how's it feel, asshole? Which, by the way, Billy, I think you'll be happy to know that this episode rightfully won the award for best death at the Death Metal Discord Awards.
Yeah, I think Yang Ye won best male performance as well.
He
That-
did.
yeah, so 2 awards.
It's a good episode, and I don't want to go on for too long because it's actually 9 o'clock where I am right now. So I've said my piece, and I'll go into more details in my ranking. But it's my favorite of all time. Well, you're gonna have to work hard to please me.
No, agreed. All right.
Unless
Who's
a
next?
certain favorite comes on.
Me.
Ooh, BrobusCast. I think it's obvious, right?
Yeah, probably.
Optimus versus the Gundam. Optimus versus the Gundam. Optimus versus the Gundam.
Yeah.
Random versus like, who would have guessed? No, joking.
Yeah, surprise,
You're
surprise,
only
I
mate.
know.
You're only mate. What was the YouTuber who
yeah,
said
dude.
I am psychic? We used to quote that. Who said that?
He's going to have dinner.
Oh, okay.
I think it was.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I'll just
I think it
use
was Mate
I'll
who
just
did
use
say
Team
that,
Force.
but yeah.
I'll just quote a Team 4-star. I can see the future.
So,
Thank
I
you.
gotta admit, this was the first ever fight to be completely in Unreal Engine.
Yep.
Yes.
It is
It's
still
beautiful.
amazing. It's still amazing to this day.
Dude,
And
I
this
know-
was the
I know
first
people-
fight.
I know people
No,
prefer.
sorry.
I know people prefer the ground combat, but honestly, the visuals in space are just
They're
so
good.
The blue,
They're
like the blue hue they've got going on is just I love it so much.
Also, this was the first episode to not be animated by Torian. It was the interns.
It's true.
Torian did admit he didn't not work on this. He was still there, but he didn't animate this episode.
I like to imagine Torian just like looming over Christina and Dave's shoulders, like, "Hey, how you guys doing?"
My boy David.
Hey, here's my advice: if you get drunk, make a dance scene.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So, Robuscus, you're an Optimus Prime fan.
I am. You are correct about that.
How did you? Yeah. So
Never would have guessed
just
that.
in an overall,
Shocking.
I know, right?
in an overall sense, how do you feel about this episode and how it portrayed Prime? Because he was portrayed 2 different ways, and I know
Yeah.
that the second way is very controversial.
Yeah, I understand, and I understand that. You know, I won't like lie to anybody and say that I thought that this was like a perfect episode. Like even amongst the Unreal fights, I do think there are overall better episodes, but this one is always going to have this like this place in my heart. As like, yeah, no, like, yeah, those other fights might be better, but I'm always gonna like this one more. Because it's Optimus, he's my favorite character. Just the fact that they were talking about him. Like, we've had 2 Transformers fights in the entirety of this show. So the fact that we're getting this one was like, at the time I was like, when I saw this announced at RTX, it was like, on one hand I was excited because like it's Optimus, heck yeah, it's against a Gundam. It wasn't the Gundam I was requesting, but it was a Gundam, heck yeah. But then I stopped and thought, I was like, wait, what if Optimus loses? I don't think I'm ready for that. It's like I don't think I'm emotionally ready for that.
So, were you actually concerned leading up to it that Optimus was going to lose, or like, do you think you kept
so it was a
confident,
little.
like-
Admittedly, this was at a time when I wasn't like. I don't want to say I wasn't on board with like, you know, I'm not one of those people that agrees with every single outcome. And this was at a time when I thought that, like, I don't want to say that they were screwing people over, like screwing characters over, but this was also coming off the results of Lucy versus Carnage, which I've gone on record before to say that I had a bit of an interesting reaction to that one. So I was like it was Lucy versus Carnage. There was a Ryu versus Jin, which I agree with now, but I didn't at the time. So I was like, I'm scared that I was scared that they were gonna get something wrong for Optimus. Cause like, when I looked into it, I was like, okay, there's no way that Optimus could lose this, right? But I felt that for a lot of characters, and that it didn't work out so well.
Hey, to be fair, they didn't get anything wrong about him.
No, they didn't. No, they did a good job.
Although I hate Wiz's thing at the end. I don't know if you agree, BrobusCast, but I hate when Wiz is like, Optimus's weakness is he's too honorable and he's too much of a goody-good guy. I was like, what the fuck? Why is that a weakness? Why are you...
I think that's in character of Wiz, because as more episodes have gone on, we've seen that Wiz is a bit of an evil man.
This is true.
A bit.
But,
he wanted world domination last season. It's like, I'm starting to
He
realize
has a-
Boomstick's the nicer one of the two.
He really is. Boomstick is the one I would want to have a beer with if I ever drunk.
It used to be the opposite years. You know? It's like, oh, Wiz is a nerd like me. Now it's like, oh, Wiz is he's the nerd that got bullied a lot in school.
Wiz is not a good person. Neither of them are good people. But
Well, like, yeah,
Except for
Boomstick did kill
Jocelyn.
the interns.
I do think, that there's a lot of positive with Optimus.
yeah,
This is
the
analysis.
only thing I don't like is his voice actor. I don't like the way he sounds.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad.
No,
I
I
understand-
think, okay, look.
Here's the thing. I understand, like, Peter Cullen is a very hard man to impersonate.
It's pretty much
Very.
like trying to impersonate Troy Baker, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends on what Troy Baker you're talking about. If you're talking about his Joker, then yeah, it's easy to impersonate. But that's not the point. The point is, yeah, BrobusCast is bringing up a good point. It was wrong. Look, that Death Battle has their way of casting. Which, by the way, it's funny. If they did this now, me and BrobusCast know this guy because there's an awesome fan animation trilogy of movie. Yeah,
Dude, I forget his name, but he's perfect.
He sounds like a young, uncanny Peter Cullen. No joke. This dude sounds legit. But I think Richard did the best he could with what he was given, because the problem isn't even his performance. It's the script, because the script kind of has
was a little odd, I'll admit.
Yeah, because Optimus, he sees a giant robot, and instead of just trying to talk to it or just do something, he immediately attacks it, and he just assumes it's a Decepticon, even though it's like, wait, it doesn't have a Decepticon insignia, nor has it indicated that it is a Decepticon. So you're just being judgmental and kind of stereotyping. And
I mean, I do like the idea.
Optimus Prime is racist.
I do like the idea of them thinking that the other is their enemy. It's like Amuro thinking that Optimus is a mobile suit. It's like, yeah, sure, I get that.
It's always hard to write heroes versus heroes.
These are 80s cartoons, so it's like nothing really is supposed to make that much sense.
Yeah, but I feel like 80s Optimus Prime would not react like this.
I mean, this is Death Battle we're talking about. So, like I said, when it comes to heroes versus heroes, it's so much harder to do like a fight that isn't like gonna end like sadly.
Yeah.
When it's like a villain versus a villain, yeah, they're gonna be egotistical. They're gonna be like, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. Lex Luthor versus Doom, Doctor Doom in a nutshell.
Yeah, I was about to say Lex versus Doom will always be my go-to in that regard.
I do also
Fair enough.
Not only do we have Lindsay, I believe, came back.
Yeah. Lindsay made a
We
little
had
cameo.
the voice, and we also had the voice of Totoro voicing Amuro.
Yeah, I told that
nice.
to Z-Dog, and he was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
little Totoro in a giant robot suit, Z-Dog. Think about that.
That sounds awesome. Sign me up.
I think I know, like, the biggest reason a lot of people like this episode, and I kind of agree with it.
Let's be honest.
Is it?
Let's be honest. Say it.
It's Wings of Iron.
Yeah.
It's Wings of Iron.
Yeah.
Chad still thinks still considers this his favorite soundtrack that they've done, and I can see why.
Yeah.
Every time,
So good.
It's so
every
good.
time people. I remember when I asked the question about how they make the actual soundtracks. That was legit the choice that the broadcast team picked, and Chad was like, "Hey, we got Wings of Iron."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like as a big
I listen to that fight while I'm working on stuff.
Yeah, as a
I've
big
listened
fan
to
of
it,
the
too.
as a big fan of the '86 movie, which has like one of the greatest soundtracks in an animated movie ever.
Facts.
Yeah, Wings of Iron definitely scratched that itch I was feeling for a soundtrack like that. Which, by the way, go watch the '86 movie. It is on YouTube right now, so you have no excuse.
Or go buy it on 4K. It's been remastered on 4K. Just like there are ways to watch it.
Yeah.
Do you want better? I'll buy it on 69k.
Right? You've got
There you
access
go.
to 69K.
Anything's possible.
But yeah, no. It's also I think this is why it'll always be my favorite for me. Is because it came out at a time. Like I mentioned, my kind of uneasiness with death battle results at the time. Because again, this was after Lucy Carnage. This is after Ryu versus Jin. This is after like Terry versus Miguel, which I still disagree with. But that's another story. So I was like, please don't screw Optimus over. The entire time, because this was also revealed early. This was revealed before. This was revealed at RTX before Lucy vs. Carnage came out. So I was like, oh gosh. So I had that much time to just kind of like. Well, for one, I looked into the Transformers cartoon again, just to like. My goal for that, like, this was when I was on the prediction blog for that. My goal was like, make sure there is no possible question you could ask that could lead to the Gundam winning. That was my goal. I unfortunately couldn't get through the whole cartoon, but the cartoon's not great. Hot take, I know.
Say, like, original Gundam is a bit messy.
No, original. When me and Duo Dreamer, I'm just throwing all the throwbacks here.
Yeah.
When me and Duo Dreamer had to do our duo, no pun intended, predictions back in the day, I was in charge of researching and watching the original Gundam cartoon with Amuro. And
I'm guessing it's not very good.
Yeah, it was hard to sit through. It was very hard. It was literally just the same thing again and again and again. At that point, I was like, "Oh my god!" I couldn't finish it all in time, but I got through most of it. So, yeah.
This was also kind of. This is gonna get sappy real fast. Life was a little rough at the time. I wasn't like in like depression or anything, but it was kind of I had moved houses at the time, which was already a kind of big toll on me. There was something else I was going through.
To that.
Yeah, there was something else I was going through, but I'm not going to go into detail on that because that's very, very personal.
Right, absolutely.
What was it? I had also just gotten, like, when this fight was like fully announced. I actually have a video up on this. It's not very good, but you guys, if you're interested, I went on a trip with family, and in that, I kind of got into a bit of a. It wasn't like a big deal. I made it a bigger deal than it actually was. I got a little injury, basically, which definitely didn't help my mood at the time. So it was kind of one of those things where it was like, there was kind of a lot happening to me. Now I'm piling on this like paranoia that Optimus is gonna lose, and like I don't want to see that. So it's like, I know it's like it's a fictional character, but it's a fictional character that I've basically grown up with. I love Transformers. I love Optimus. So I was like, if I have to sit here and see him lose in a fight that I don't think he should, that's gonna do a lot to me. So to not only see him win, but for the episode to be as good as it is, yeah, no, this is my favorite episode. And I think it will always be my favorite episode. Unless they manage to pull off something insane on an emotional level for me. But nope, I think this is it. It's funny that this is in the same season as Crash vs. Spyro, which is a fight that I'm very famous for. So,
oh god, that one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny then that I picked this one instead, even though I'm not really much of a Gundam fan. So, I was only invested in the one character, but it is the one character, you know.
Right.
So,
It's not like it's your entire on persona or anything, you know.
no, nah. So, yeah, no. It's Optimus versus Gundam. The fight is great. Okay, I commented on Richard as Optimus. David Matranga as Amuro is really good. I like him a lot. So that does kind of make up for it. The music is fantastic. And it made me feel better after a lot of crap. So, yeah.
It's always good to get those type of episodes.
Yeah. So, yeah. This is it.
Boy.
So, Richard, the spotlight's on you again.
Okay. This has changed so many times. What was my last favorite? It was All Might versus Might Guy.
Yeah.
Might.
And yeah. It's changed again.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and there's a sappy story to this, but it's not as sappy as I can't match BrobusCast in that area. But my favorite now death battle of all time until the end of the series is Popeye versus Saitama.
Okay.
There we go.
Not the
Yeah.
one I thought you were gonna pick.
It's deserving.
There-
It is deserving.
Yes. No. Look, I've had many favorites.
I
What
legit
would-
thought it was either Samurai Jack versus Afro Samurai or Obi-Wan versus Kakashi.
That's my
Okay,
favorite.
that first one, yes, it was my favorite at a time. Obi-Wan versus Kakashi, unfortunately, no, it will never be my favorite, and that's not a dig on that episode. It's just, look, both those two are great episodes. Hell, Jack versus Afro is even greater. But this fight,
Jack vs. Afro
This
was your
fight-
favorite for a while.
it was, yes, because it was my most wanted, and I personally believe that me and Luis were in tangent. We had a mind link because we both wanted that episode to be a certain way when it came to the animation, and it did it perfectly. But that's neither here nor there. Popeye versus Saitama was a trip back to my childhood for Popeye, because Popeye was my first ever cartoon character that I had watched. I even started eating, not full on spinach, but I like spinach because of Popeye. I wanted to be big and strong like Popeye. I loved Popeye cartoons. They were some of my favorite, and I loved rewatching them on Boomerang when I was a kid. And then Saitama, that first season of One Punch Man was so fucking good. It was so good. And the idea of crossing these two over on paper, it shouldn't go good, because Saitama's story is still continuing, and they even admitted themselves, like, yeah, look, it's another Goku situation. We don't know what Saitama's full limit is. And by the time we do, I do disagree with them on one thing. I don't think Saitama's strength will still remain measured. He will become immeasurable as time goes on.
I mean,
But regardless of that...
Didn't Saitama just get this, like, crazy buff, like, not even, like, a month after this episode came out?
That's what I'm talking about. So, see, there you go. Same thing with with Genos. Genos also got a crazy buff a month after Genos vs. War Machine came out. So, again, it's weird.
But War Machine, though, sadly.
No,
Machine
it doesn't
wins.
beat War Machine. I'll say that much.
No, it doesn't. But Popeye vs. Saitama, it took me back to my childhood, and it kept me grounded right here where I'm at now. And I love how it did that. Both of their analysis do a great job of telling their stories and showing you just how broken in their own worlds they are. And the idea of putting these two together is a match made in heaven, because it's literally East versus West. It's a better Goku versus Superman than Goku versus Superman. That's a hot take. I'll lay down right there.
You know what I find kind of funny, oddly enough?
What?
We've had 3 One Punch Man characters, and they've all had hand-drawn stuff in all their fights.
They have. I love that. I love that commonality that they have. This animation.
Basically, what you're saying is when we get Boros versus, I don't know, Deoxys or something, I don't know.
That'll have him.
We'll get hand-drawn there too.
Oh boy. But speaking of animation, Popeye's versus Saitama's animation is probably, and I mean this on record, gun to my fucking head. Popeye versus Saitama's animation is the greatest animation of all time. It's better than anything Torian's done. It's better than anything Luis has done. It's better than anything anybody's ever done, because it celebrates 10 years of how far they've come. We get the hand-drawn stuff from Rooster Teeth's department. They've improved dramatically by this point, and it's the main vocal point of the animation. I like that, because it's the 2D segments that are telling the story, while the sprite and 3D animations are just going with the actions. That's a good choice, and I like that.
Cursed
It
Popeye
also
model
does
by
kind
MP4.
of...
Oh god, yeah. Honestly, that was part of the animation right there. That Popeye model.
Yeah, yes, that Popeye model. And again, I just gotta say it. And I even showed this. No, I never showed this. But when they got to Devil Artemis's segment, everything that he did in that 3D section, that was not in the script. That was not in the storyboard. That whole segment.
Yeah, the whole thing was Devil Artemis does cool stuff here.
Yes, exactly. It was all him, and it was fantastic. But I think now what really solidifies this episode best for me is the ending. Saitama looking up out into the cosmos. You hear that great acoustic guitar from Aaron playing, and that inner monologue of him being happy because now he's getting the feelings of a rushback, and he's found a worthy opponent, a strong opponent, and he's willing to die happy because he knows he did it. He found a challenge. He didn't, even if it means he lost, he didn't care. The dude got his wish. That is some fine level of characterization that we don't get in Death Battle, because no other characters have gone through something like that. And it also, and the voice acting even carries this episode too, because god dang it, man.
Dude, Ryan Saitama is so good.
Yes, I was so happy they made the choice to get Ryan and not bring in Kagi Films to do the voice of Saitama. No disrespect to Kagi, he's a great voice actor, but I feel like, okay, Ryan delivered these lines with such convincing inflictions and commitment that I can believe that was his English voice actor saying those lines in my head. It was that good. And then there's Liam's Popeye.
When I saw that it was Liam, I was like, wait, what?
and the ending, you know. Okay, I'm gonna get a little sappy here. I'm trying so hard not to cry, but I shit you not.
We had BrobusCast nearly do, so why not you?
No, but this episode made me cry because Popeye was a childhood hero of mine, and hearing Liam portray this, hearing that fucking shanty he does at the end, it's like, that's fucking Popeye. And it's like, god dang it, how could you not like that? How could you not enjoy that? Just, again, Popeye, from Popeye's perspective, he just fought a crazy Gazookas. Whereas from Saitama, it's like, he got his wish. Popeye did more to help Saitama in his journey than Popeye could ever realize. And I like that, and in my opinion, this episode is the ultimate masterpiece. There is no flaw with it. It has, even if people have flaws, those can be attributed to nitpicks at best. This episode has set the bar high. It hasn't even set the bar. It is the bar. All other episodes, whether it be Death Battle, 1 Minute Melee, Superpower Beatdown, Cartoon Fight Club, Rewind Rumble, my man Ray's show, fictional fights, every versus show that's out there. This is the episode that should inspire them to. This is the episode that should inspire them to strive to create something beautiful. And this is why I harped on Gogeta versus Vegito, and why me and BrobusCast had this great debate, which I generally love how we debated it. But I still hold it today. Gogeta versus Vegito was a weak season finale because it had none of these things that Popeye versus Saitama has. And yes, that's unfair, but I said it once in that recording, and I'll say again. It is Death Battle who has set the bar so high with this episode that we have a right to expect a season finale to go hard, to make you feel, to make
finale went hard. It went hard.
If by hard you mean they transformed, threw punches, threw ki blasts, and by the end they did a cool throwback to Majin Vegeta, then yes, it did go hard. But
isn't that just
regardless,
Dragon Ball in a nutshell?
And that's the point. And that's the point. Is that, look, this season finale is everything a season finale should be. There can be no exceptions. So, and regardless of that, I really love this episode. It made me feel nostalgic, and it made me feel like I was a kid again, and that's something I never would have thought. And, you know, like Sean said, I loved Jack versus Afro. I loved All Might versus Might Guy, Kenobi versus Kakashi, but none of those fucking episodes made me cry. And you would think that they would make me cry, wouldn't you? They're fucking, because 3 of them have Jack, All Might, and Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi, the latter of which was the basis of my whole channel. But I didn't cry. I didn't have this feeling of hot, burning passion that I have for this episode. And that's what makes this episode special. And that's why I will go down in history saying that this is my all-time favorite episode, and it's the best of the show. And I really hope that Bugs Bunny versus Mickey Mouse can come close to this.
Well, they have the idea, so...
Yeah, so... I apologize if
I think we definitely got the picture.
Yeah, no.
Has my beard
But
gotten
again-
longer? I don't remember it touching my belly button.
Well, again, that's why I love that we're talking about this, because we all have our favorites for different reasons. It isn't just because, oh, look, that was some cool, flashy things. No, there could be something deeper behind it. I mean, fuck, man, me and BrobusCast, we have emotional ties to why we love these episodes.
Yeah, and I imagine, I know I'm jumping ahead, but I imagine Mate will have a similar thing too.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, shall we segue over?
Speaking of which, hey Mate, you've been quiet for a little while. How about you? How about the spotlight goes on you now?
Hunger got to me, so I snuck off to go and eat.
Okay.
Understandable.
Yeah, I don't blame him. We've gone
I-
for a while.
This is getting
I
close
don't
to
know.
5 hours.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Whoopsie, sorry.
Yeah.
So basically, just as long as the ranking on the BrobusCast channel. Got you.
Hey,
Oopsie.
that-
Jesus, I thought Endgame's runtime was a long crossover.
But at least this is
I wouldn't
two
have it any
separate
other way.
podcasts.
Exactly.
Jeeva. Viewers
Uh,
won't suffer.
All right, I'm gonna wipe off my eyes because I have tears in them. So go on.
All right, mate, let's go.
Alright.
Fucking pussy.
Yeah, mine isn't totally obvious.
No, that's not obvious at all.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Korra versus Storm,
Yeah,
right?
Storm.
Wow.
God dang it, Billy.
Okay.
Me and
Billy, you
Z-Dog.
stole my joke twice.
Three
stole my joke
Okay,
twice,
three
Billy.
dumb collective minds think alike. All right, mate, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Me
Okay,
and
let's
Z-Dog
actually
on the
let him-
same wavelength.
Anyway, so it's what it actually is. Yeah, big
She has
surprise.
2 sets of ears.
All right, let's stop.
It's Blake versus Mikasa.
Shocker.
Yeah, surprising.
Yeah, like if anyone knows me, you know this is my favorite, and like these guys, they have emotional ties. I have emotional ties to both these characters. Blake's not only my favorite character in Ruby, but probably favorite in fiction. Like, let's be real. And I went into this like whole thing with Max about how like our favorite characters have like changed our perspective on other characters. It's what led me to like find Mikasa and actually grow attached to her as well. And I'm just like, oh man, I love both these characters. I want to see them fight. Let's do it. And after half a decade of requesting it, it finally happened.
That whole old lady, it's been so long meme. That was made.
From Titanic, it's been 84 years.
I mean, I
And
think
yeah, it's just like,
all right.
no, go on, chill.
I was gonna say with Attack on Titan news that came out saying the series was finally ending, it was a good time for that episode to come out. Honestly.
Yeah, this episode came out not long after the series actually ended. And
Was it now? Is it officially finished now?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
been
finished.
for years. Or at least the manga has been finished.
Oh, because I was asking the anime. I was like, I could have sworn, and then the next half just got released.
No. The last chapter of the manga came out like before this episode.
Okay, I thought
During
you
the
meant the anime. I
waiting
was like,
period for that, which isn't frightening at all. I can imagine the researchers just like, yeah, this is probably like they're out on the outside. They're like, yeah, this is probably not going to change anything. But in the back of their minds, they're like, oh gosh, please don't change anything.
Yeah, no, they actually like kept a close eye on it. Just like,
Yeah.
okay, this chapter, nothing changes. We're good. All right, this one, okay, yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah. I can imagine by
Yeah,
the end
no-
they're all like, okay, thank God. Can you imagine?
I mean, yeah.
Can you imagine if the finale actually did change the result, but like, it was like a week or so before the episode came out, so like, well, this episode got outdated before it even released. Oops.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Thank
it was
God it
awesome.
didn't.
Just like, yeah, it was just awesome hearing Wisdom Boomstick talk about these two, and I do have one gripe. And Siri went off apparently.
Siri,
No,
fuck
Siri,
you.
you're not. No, Siri, you're not the gripe.
It's more so just something they didn't do, and it's that they didn't have Boomstick make a now that's a katana joke, because that would have been perfect.
Missed
I saw-
opportunity.
I saw you ask them why it wasn't there at RTX. I was like, oh gosh.
I mean,
why?
I had to, and I love that Liam just leaned over and went to Chad. Yeah, Chad, why didn't he? Despite the fact that Liam wrote that episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Liam.
Hey,
Liam's the one-
Mate
like,
is
hey, Liam's
asking
one
the
that wrote it.
serious questions. Mate is asking
Yeah.
the serious questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, the animation, I freaking love it.
Yeah.
I just wait with how fast paced it is, and look, some people will like complain about the frame rate, it does not bother me. In fact, I've also seen some people praise other projects for having that same frame rate. So, sus.
Dun, dun, dun.
Had to.
I blame the I don't blame the people, but I blame it's like the Nemesis Biffweed curse or whatever it was, whatever the term is.
I believe when we ranked this episode on last, I put this at number 5 for season 7.
Yeah, in our
Yeah,
ranking,
mate.
it came
Mate,
to number 2. In mine and Max's, it was number 1.
Mate, I tried to get that one higher than it ended up getting. For our ranking, I felt so bad.
I don't apologize for anything. I'm just saying.
That's why I'm a good friend, because I put it up higher than all 3 of you.
No, whatever.
I will say though that the setting that they were fighting in is so beautiful. It reminded me of Solitude from Skyrim, legitimately.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
that shot when they're just going down that alleyway and the camera like pans and tracks them. That's a shot I wanted. It's so Attack on Titan, and I freaked out when I saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, another accomplishment that May can say he did. He got a researcher to eat a cake. Not a researcher, an animator to eat a cake.
Freaking
I was
cake.
gonna get to that.
The cake.
Anyways, sorry.
Might as well now.
I
Well,
was gonna get to that. And by the way, the whole like Mikasa cutting Blake's arm off thing. No joke, that was something me and Max accidentally predicted.
oh gosh.
Oh, he even brings it up in his reaction. Like the moment it happens, it was.
Yeah.
Oh man, that felt good.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of like things that like just made me feel good about the episode, it's just how this episode made RWBY fans freak out. Not because Blake won, or because of how awesome she looked, or anything like that. No, it was because Yang was listed under Blake's likes. I had a conversation with Tiki at RTX about that. That was just funny.
His idea. That was his idea. Full stop.
Way to go, Death Battle.
Yep, and he got that approved by RWBY and everything.
The ship is so subtle that even Death Battle just like, just get it over with.
See, I don't.
When we see it.
I mentioned this before, but I have to wonder who came up with the bootleg Virgil jab, because that one means a lot to me. Because literally not terribly long beforehand, I had uploaded a Adam versus Virgil video. So I'm wondering, and I know Tiki at least at one point watched Ultimate Throwdown back when it was original and bad, really bad. He actually made some of the assets for it back then. So I'm wondering if he watched that and was like, yeah. I mean, probably not, because the comparison between Adam and Virgil is obvious, but.
Oh yeah.
What you're saying is there's a Death Battle curse, a Lad's curse, now a Bros curse.
Okay, I don't know why.
BrobusCast specifically.
I don't know why, but Ruckus just put an image in my head of Adam just sitting on that like the chair, like the Virgil meme.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, someone needs to. I wish
Artists get on that.
that.
God.
It's just that screaming meme buried like deep within the mouth just widens. It's just Adam doing it. Memers, if you're watching, you got a task.
There you go.
I know someone who probably would actually commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say for Mikasa's sake, I'm kind of glad that this fight came out when it did.
Oh yeah, because if it came out after Ruby Arrowfell came out, Jesus.
Well, not even just that. I haven't really been keeping you guys up to date on this, but I mentioned in our in the private server, it's like there was investigations going on for potential Ruby buffs. There's an accepted buff in speed, so Blake is faster than she already was against Mikasa, far faster.
Yeah.
I might have to ask you about that later.
Oh, I think I know for what.
You might. You might not like exactly where it comes from, but it helps the verse out a lot. But it's just
That's good.
Anyways,
Alright, well. Also, just like that last shot, when that Titan's coming at Blake, like, she's missing an arm, that smirk that she has, it just screams, "Bring it, bitch." And I love that shot so much.
Yeah.
Did I groan at any points during yours?
No, I'm not doing that. I saw something come out on the voice actor for My Hero Abridged. Something happened. Dude got in a bit of a scandal.
Not important. Not important.
Well, I do like the shot where they recreated the scene from Ruby. You know the one. I think that one was like really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that one.
I would say that one's my personal favorite shot of the animation.
is this when Blake gets her arm cut off? I just want to make sure
No.
I'm not stupid.
No, I just love the color change, honestly. I thought it was very pretty. Especially with the music in the background. Like, the way that was shot. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and
speaking of the music,
speaking
I
of
guess.
the music, this might sound a bit pretentious from me, but I would like to think I kind of made it better.
Oh no, you did.
Okay,
No, that's-
you want stroking your own ego right now, mate.
No, Bill, he's actually right though. Because
He is, but my god, I could just hear his ego bursting out of the screen.
Alright, because when Brandon did that first batch of commission tracks, of course I commissioned him for Titanic Shadows. Still love it, by the way.
yeah, it's still good.
Just a few months later, the fight got announced, and he was just like, I'm making a better one. And he freaking did.
And he succeeded.
I wonder if Brandon knew about the fight coming out when you commissioned him.
Oh
it's
my
like
god.
It's like I mean, probably not. I imagine Brandon and Therwolf or whatever get told about fights coming up relatively later in comparison. I refuse to believe that Blake vs. Mikasa wasn't planned at the time, at least, because this was like late season 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they had planned Blake vs. Mikasa before.
Yeah, I saw a funny comment, which was just like, Brandon finishes that up, it gets posted, and it's just like, alright, what music have I gotta do? Blake vs. Mikasa?
That's fun too. But my thought was like, Brandon's like, okay, so we got Blake vs. Mikasa coming out. That's probably gonna be a fun one for me to do. And then he gets like a DM or something, however you contacted him from you, being like, hey, one of the one I want to commission is Blake vs. Mikasa, and he's like, I can just imagine him being like, okay,
sure,
so...
you're giving me money.
I mean, he did it, so like, you know, obviously there wasn't any trouble, but I can just imagine him in his mind. It's like, what do I do? Because this is I'm doing the official one too, so I'm like,
Speaking of Thundershroud, genuine question: how many of us legitimately thought Brandon had Casey on when we heard the lyrics?
I totally did.
Yeah, that was a thought in the back of my mind. I was like, did they? No, there's no way.
I know I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of those vocalists actually did the vocals for the commission Ruby versus Maka track too.
Yeah, I believe that
Yeah,
was.
she did.
Was that Lady Jinko?
Something
Was that
along
one-
those lines.
Because Lady Jinko and Takes did Thundershroud. I don't know which one did Ruby and Maka.
Well, actually, funny enough, I got tweeted out by Lady Jinko. Is that how you pronounce that?
I think it's Lady
Yeah,
Ichiko or something.
Lady
Okay.
Jinko.
Yeah, after my reaction came out, she like tweeted at me just, and I have it somewhere. I'll look it up and just like say other stuff in the meantime.
When this was announced, man, you got so much support. I think.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
Yeah, remember how you were talking about the art you got from Madara Aizen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got people drawing me in the background of Blake and Mikasa.
I straight
Hey,
up.
we had one of them on the podcast eventually.
Yeah, in which I had a nosebleed and a Titanic Shadow shirt.
Yeah, I straight up messaged you at one point. And was like, "Damn, dude, like, how did this happen?" Cause like even on like just on my Twitter feed, I just saw so many people was like, "Oh, if he can get his most wanted, then so can I," or something like that.
Yeah, that meme went
like,
around.
I was like, where the heck, like, where the heck is this coming from?
Oh, I have the folder from that meme when I did the ranking video. Yeah, fucking nearly 90 matches I had to rank for that meme. Thanks.
You're the one who chose to do it.
I didn't think I would get 90. One guy posted 13 of those.
I found the tweet. It was, your reaction to today's death battle was the most wholesome thing I've seen in a while. Thank you for bringing so much love and positivity to the community.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's awesome.
It's very
I love
sweet.
it.
That's very sweet.
And yeah, like the cake was one of like the best dumb decisions I ever made.
So stupid. So stupid, man.
So
You got
good,
even
but
one-
so
I
good.
completely forgot about that.
No, you know what? A big part was Max pushing me to actually do it.
It's like,
You did it, and you know
Wait,
what
mate,
you
are
did?
you saying just like the cake, he egged you on?
God damn.
damn it.
And the fact that you made Luis do that too. You are
And
an
he chose to do that. I did not like.
You are an
I had no
inspiration
impact.
to Luis now.
Luis
Congratulations.
actually like made the screenshot out of frosting or something. It's like Mate just put a picture.
Somehow.
Mate just put a picture over it and was like done. Luis made an entire actual freaking cake on it. I was like, why? It's like, it's like it's funny, but it's so stupid. It's
I think you know. Besides the actual episode, the best part about Blake vs. Mikasa is just that support you got, and just to see
he got sent merch.
that kind of thing
I'm
happen.
jealous.
Yeah,
like,
no,
straight up, I'm
it
jealous.
It gets even more insane than that. Like, I also got name dropped in the official commentary for the episode, shouted out on Death Battle Cast, even when it was just pointing out the Blake vs. Mikasa set and Harley Quinn vs. Jinx.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's like just being messaged by Sean Hines in the middle of the night, and I saw that right before I was going to go to sleep, and I'm just like, what is about to happen? Like, what? What is this?
What did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong?
And then yeah, just
Swear, the
getting,
house was on fire before I got there.
and just getting sent merch for it. Like, oh my god! And like those 4 shirts, those are among my most treasured.
Man, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Ben say he was happy that you really liked Blake vs. Mikasa?
Yeah, he told me so in person at RTX.
Oh. Nice.
Oh yeah, because you went to him. You went to him in person at one point, just saying like, yeah, Blake vs. Mikasa is like my most wanted episode. And he was like, yeah, we've thought about
They've
that.
talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it, and now that they actually did it, hey, there you go. It comes full circle. I love hearing
Your only mate is the living death battle curse.
Yeah, it's just like with how much this death battle means to me. It's just like BrobusCast and Richard said, like this episode made me great. You can see me get emotional like near the end of my reaction, which is almost an hour long. Jesus Christ.
Will that ever happen again? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, but like the actual episode and just everything that came from it, it's like I doubt it's ever going to be topped with how much it means to me. And
Yeah.
I just want to throw out, well, yes, I am extraordinarily biased because these are 2 characters that I love quite a lot. If that's a bad reason to have this as my favorite, I say to those people, when you get your most wanted, which just so happens to feature 2 of your favorite characters, get an ungodly amount of support from the community, from the actual creators of the show, which involve getting shouted out on their podcast, on their social medias, getting sent official merch, and therefore tying you to two of your favorite fictional characters ever. Feel free to get back to me.
I was gonna say, can you take a breath already?
Yeah.
This is an episode
Exactly.
that will I will always I already liked the episode when I watched it. But this is an episode that I will always it's like this is not a very popular episode in the circles that I've been in. But
I do wish the view number was higher, because like it's at like 1.7 million, which is kind of sad.
yeah.
I will say, it's not the least viewed on that season. I will say that.
No.
Well, the thing is, I knew it wasn't going to get viewed that much because
I
Death
think it
Battle fans, Ruby,
I think it
like,
actually
you know
is.
how that's
Plus,
going to go.
Plus, like,
I've said
there's
multiple
probably-
times, those are
There was probably some concern
vocal-
that like they would spoil Attack on Titan as well. And I mean, to an extent, they kind
There's
of
a-
did,
that-
but okay.
Battle fans don't hate Ruby as much as you think, mate. It's a vocal minority. That's all I'm saying.
Are you sure about that? I beg to disagree.
You look at the likes and dislikes of Blake versus Mikasa, it says otherwise. Right?
I can't
That's
see
all
the
I'm
dislikes
saying.
anymore.
Well,
Who has
anyways,
an app?
I
what are you
have
gonna
a
do?
plugin.
yeah. What are you gonna do? Just like the video? Anyways,
Oh, there is whatever aspect. I don't talk about this like nearly enough, and I really should. You know, okay, they're not in the background of my videos anymore, but you know, I got the print covers for Titanic Shadows and Thundershroud like printed.
yeah.
Yep, and framed
Yeah.
and signed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. Brandon like reached out to me and was just like, "Can I sign those?"
There you go. But yeah,
Amazing.
despite all the crap that this episode may get from circles of the community, I will still always go back to this episode and be like, yeah, this is a massive success, because the one guy that I always saw request this since like 2015, 2016.
Something like that.
He got it, he loves it, and he got so much support out of it.
And hell, you notice that print I made? Like Aaron's reaction to seeing that, like
Dude, I saw that. That was so wholesome.
it really was, and I love Aaron so much.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I've just gotten the
been-
likes and dislikes up because this proves my point. Bam! 64,000 likes. Really wish it was 69, and only
Okay.
7.6 dislikes. Bam!
Yeah.
Boom!
I didn't even know you could do that.
It has a
I've
plugin.
been
It's a
being-
Plug in
hacker
or
for
something.
life.
I don't know.
I've been being uncharacteristically, once again, quiet because, for obvious reasons, I don't want to bring the mood down. I have reservations about this episode that I've made in the past, and I still stand to those reservations. But I put those reservations aside. I mentioned this in a recording. I know obviously none of you will ever watch it when I came back to do Death Battle reactions, but when we got to this particular episode, I mentioned Mate, and I said that, you know, I'm just happy that he got it, and I'm happy that Ceasedinner got it. I'm happy so many people got it, because even if it's an episode that,
off on this one.
yeah,
Oh,
even
yeah,
if it's
we
an
messaged back and forth about it a lot.
even if it's an episode that I don't like and I'm not invested in, I put those things aside because this is what the community should do. If you don't like an episode, that's fine. But don't take away the fact that somebody else got this episode. And ever since Mate and I have known each other for a long time, he's like a twin little brother to me from another country. I heard him talk about this episode. I heard his ideas. I heard everything. He was so passionate about this episode. Calculations wise, he went to Jaru to get some calculations. He would tell me all of these things about this episode, and in the back of my head, I was like, "Oh my god!" You know, like I thought I was the only one who could be passionate about an episode, but no, he takes it to a whole nother level, and I
Just a
really
reminder,
was happy.
this is meant to be Mate's hype. You know, this is meant to be his moment.
Yeah, exactly, and that is why, again, I will out of respect for him, I will not bring up those reservations, because again, I want to let him have this moment, this spotlight, because that's really what it should be about. Everybody should have that feeling that they can finally say that this episode happened. My episode happened, and I feel so good. I love it, and I'm happy that I've been getting tremendous amount of support and push from everybody, even the people involved who made it, because I know that feeling. It's a great feeling when they can keep you in mind, and they're like, oh yeah, this episode is famous because that one guy or that one person won. It's like, yeah. And when it happens, it's like it leaves you feeling so cherished, and I'm just happy that he got it. It doesn't get any better than just having your matchup be discussed and talked about. And I really do like it. You know, I if I wasn't a critique, I would just, for him, I would say this episode's a fucking 10 out of 10, because it's like, look, he got it. He got it. And he's happy. That's all that matters, you know? So I just want to let that be known. And again, I will never not carry that with me. Even when people talk about it in a negative light and they bring up their points, why they don't like it, and I can be counted as one of them, but not that much. I always say, it's like, well, you know, hey, at the end of the day, you know, I have a friend who wanted this fight for a very, very long time, and they'll look at me and they're like, wait a minute, you're telling me this matchup has fans? It had people who wanted this? And I was like,
Oh Lord.
yeah.
Richard, I should say, you know, it is 10 o'clock for me. I've got dogs. They need walkies.
That's fine.
And he still needs food.
Yeah.
Frozen pizza waits.
Excuse me for wanting to have a good moment and just, you know, be
good
happy.
moment.
Yeah, I've also got one last thing I've been holding back to end it on, and then pass it over to Z-Dog at last.
Yeah, let's get that in real fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So after this episode came out, I took a walk. It was a sunny day, and there were cherry blossoms just in the wind in front of me, and it just felt like the world itself was saying, hey, congrats on getting your dream episode.
Wow.
And I won't lie, there are tears forming in my eyes saying that. Z-Dog, I'm passing this on to you.
Z-Dog, please take over.
All right. Well, I'm just happy it happened, and let's end it. Okay,
I do
so
find it kind of funny how everyone in this podcast so far has been all emotional, and I've just been there like, yes, I enjoyed the blood.
all right. So I'm gonna be honest. I think it actually, because I don't want to say 2, unless I'm allowed to, but I don't want it to go too long.
Yeah, let's
Who you
keep
saying
it.
this to?
Let's keep it to 1 just for length's sake.
Okay. Well, I think this entire conversation has kind of just opened my eyes a little, because actually, there was an episode that I was going to give the spotlight to, but after thinking about it, I think, and this may change in the future, of course, because that's just how my mind works. I think just thinking about this episode and all the emotional stuff, I think ultimately it has to take it over what I originally said in the original episode and even the lad's discussion. And
Interesting. I wonder if I know what it is.
You
versus Storm?
Maybe. It's not fucking
Stop
Boris
talking.
Storm, shut up. No, after thinking about it, yeah, I have to go with All Might My Guy as my favorite episode.
Oh, well,
Not
that's not the
necessarily.
guess that is not the guess I had, but all right.
No,
That's
mine.
it.
I will say-
I was actually unironically thinking it was Korra vs. Storm. I wasn't just saying that just to be funny. I was actually legit thinking it was that.
No,
It seemed like it was
okay,
building up
okay,
to it.
listen.
I'll be honest, I still think this is the best season finale.
It's
one
either
of
this
it,
or
yeah.
shit.
It's definitely up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, truth be told, and I will give a special honorable mentions to both Mario Sonic 2018 and SpongeBob vs. Aquaman,
That was my
because
guess, by
those
the way.
hit similar. I figured those also hit very strong beats for me, for very personal reasons. Maybe I'll go over them again in another day. But like, I don't know. Just after thinking about what this episode was when it came out and where I was, I think just how it hit me just overthrows it as my favorite episode. Because, like, when this episode came out, I was in a rough spot, I'll be honest. There was a lot of stuff going on in my personal life with my mental health, my actual health, just not in a great mood. But I still watched Death Battle, of course. And just the reaction on when this was announced made me so happy because it got my hero into Death Battle, which is my favorite anime, and what got me into anime, which sounds a little ridiculous, I know. I'm regularly watching anime anyway, but
That actually surprises me.
yeah. Well, another time. But this episode just. Well, first of all, just let me go over it properly before I get all gushy. It's amazing. Both analyses are amazing. Highlight each character's very well. Had a lot of jokes in there that made me laugh. The fight is amazing. I love the style I was going for. I love the dialogue potential. I love the interactions. I love the voice acting. I love Mighty. I love everything. I love all about it. But I think just what made me change my mind while we were talking about it is just the characters. Now, I haven't watched Naruto, admittedly, but this fight did get me to be a really big fan of him. And of course, I watched My Hero Academia. I love All Might. But just this episode just reminded me of no matter what darkest spots you're in, as long as you have a smile on your face, you can get through whatever. You know, there'll be someone there that, like, you're not alone. And I think this episode just reminded me of it. And especially where I was at in a very dark time in my life, and arguably maybe still in it, but whatever. This episode just reminds me that, like, it'll be okay. There'll be a smile. Just put it on a smile. There'll be someone there. It just makes me so happy just going back to think about this episode. And that's why I think retroactively it is my favorite episode of the show. Just because of all the production going into it, because of all everything in the fight, and just the message it just reminded me of in a time where I sorely needed it. So that is why I think, and it may change, who knows, I think I will firmly call it my favorite episode as of now. So
Well said.
that's the long and short of it. If you guys have anything else.
That was first of all, that was a really emotional deal, but how could you say it may change? You could have said it might change. So much of a missed opportunity
Gosh
there.
dang it.
You were this close, T-Dog. This close.
Okay, hold on, time reversal. This episode, it might change, but I think I'll call it my favorite episode. Because, yeah, okay, there we go.
The emotional one. I
Dramaturg.
really like the pun you added. Yeah, we definitely didn't do any time manipulation.
I don't disagree with
Bill's
anything you
heart,
said.
after
No,
not
I
getting
don't
that
either.
pun, it was as big as Mike, guys.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said, my guy.
And
Gosh.
My guy.
there's one thing we've learned from. If there's one thing we've learned from my favorites, I have a black heart because I just tend my favorite. I don't get emotional to it. I just love the violence, whereas you guys are emotionally attached to yours.
Yeah,
Says a lot about me.
No, All Might versus Mike, guy is a really good choice. I love that finale so
it
much.
is,
Yeah.
it is
100%.
absolutely amazing. Mm.
So does Ben. When I talked with Ben a couple years ago, he said it's probably his favorite too.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Good episode.
Yeah, like that whole
Yeah.
climax with like my guy still having a hole in his chest and using the 8th gate.
Yeah.
That's fucking badass.
That guy's
Very.
a Chad, man. People
He
sleep on
is.
him too
I'm not-
much.
I
When I
don't,
heard,
I don't like Naruto, but man, I love Guy.
Dude, I remember
when I was watching Naruto growing
ahead.
up, Mike Guy was just when he appeared, I was like, I love this man. He has the energy. He has the positivity. He's got the power.
I'll be honest, though. I actually talked to Kaji Tang about Death Battle, and he loved all his performances. He was just like, and I wish I won that one so I could be undefeated and retire to Jujutsu Kaisen now. Which, funny enough, Z-Dog, he actually voices the character in your profile picture.
Yeah, I know. He voices Gojo. Let's go. Don't worry. When
for
Gojo
a long time,
comes to
I
Death
thought that
Battle,
was
he'll get his revenge. Maybe.
Well, lie. I thought that was a gimp in your profile picture.
No.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
I'm just saying, it looked like it. It wasn't until Sean mentioned that I was like, oh yeah, no, I've been looking at that wrong.
All right, we've been going for a while. Let's rapid fire through our most wanted, then we can get to the results and end this.
Yes, please. I've got butt cramps. I feel like Patrick right now.
Yeah, we've been going for like 5 hours now.
All right, Sean.
6 hours.
For 5 hours.
Yes, sir.
What is your most wanted death battle?
It changed from Genji versus Zero because I'm waiting for PvE. It's Kiryu versus Wei Shen, Yakuza versus Sleeping Dogs.
Cool. That's cool.
like that.
That's a cool fight. I know nothing about either character, but that sounds cool.
Sleeping Dog, underrated.
Yeah. Well, I know we're trying to rush through this, but I want to give like a quick explanation for it.
Oh, first of all, you got the Yakuza versus the Triad, which I think is pretty cool. A really dope martial arts fight could be phenomenal in any animation style. And these two use their environments in their game, so you definitely have a playful environment potential with them. It could be a really cool, fast-paced fight, and honestly, you were talking about more video game fights, this is a big one. And hey, I know, BrobusCast, you're into Sega, so here's another Sega franchise.
You are correct.
Sega.
Yakuza being another Sega franchise. Yakuza's another Sega franchise, there you go.
There you go. And I mean, I don't know, Yakuza looks freaking insane, and I would love to see it get on. It seems like it'd be interesting to analyze.
I mean, Mark Hamill...
That'd be a fever dream of an analysis, I imagine.
Yeah, it can be, on the one hand, as serious ex-crime bosses to them just singing karaoke, because of course!
Because, why not?
And plus, Yakuza's been really popular over the years, and it still continues to be popular. So I think, if they were to have Yakuza in Death Battle, I think Kiryu would be the perfect choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
All right, Billy, your turn.
All right, I'm going to be quick about this. I have a list, but I'm just going to go with Supergirl versus She-Hulk. I just want them to step on me. That's my theme for this episode. Move on.
God.
Okay.
Move on!
Okay.
Yeah, I just like the episode. This is actually a Marvel vs. DC fight that I would actually be for, because I love both these characters. Can they step on me? Move on.
I will say 100% down for Supergirl, because I like her show.
The Supergirl is Kara, right? That specific one?
Yeah, Kara.
Yes, Kara Danvers.
Yeah. Underrated character, underrated TV show, way better than She-Hulk's MCU show. Move on.
Facts.
Okay.
I still need to see it.
Don't bother. It's not important. Don't bother.
What he said.
Whatever. I'll still probably watch it anyway. Mine is I'm the Transformers guy apparently. Mine is Dinobot from Beast Wars versus Starscream from Armada. The same. I know it's the same series fight. Shut up. I like Beast Wars a lot. I like Transformers Armada a lot. These two are my favorite characters from both of their respective shows. And they basically have the exact same character arc of they started on the evil side and now they're on the good side, and then they sacrifice themselves for the sake of mankind, and then they get brought back in some really dumb toy commercial way.
Isn't that the Transformer way?
Yeah, the Transformers way.
Transformers. We're done with them till we want to make more money.
Pretty much. That was the '86 movie in a nutshell. I love that movie, but damn. So yeah, that's it for me. Richard.
Okay, I have so many, but I will just say the one that I've always wanted to see, and that is Rainbow Dash versus Sonic the Hedgehog. It got a dope batch commission track. I want to see Rainbow Dash come back. I want to see Game Sonic come back. I want to see this fight. and it would be cool. It would be a good race-style fight with some superpowers thrown in there.
If the music is
And
anything
plus
like
Nicholas Angelou as Sonic.
if the music is anything like it is in Frontiers, then I'm down. 'Cause
Yeah.
There you go.
And hey, you just gave me a reason to use Frontiers music. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's crack.
All right, mate.
I have a few, but I'm just gonna go with this one because of relevancy. Ash versus Yugi.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The episode where no matter what, you and I lose.
Yeah, like
Everybody
look,
loses.
childhood, it's a big fight, and well, admittedly beforehand I wasn't too into this because how would this work? Over the years, it's been kind of made clear like how this could work. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm down for it, and get little Karibo as Yugi.
Okay, that's the only thing I disagree with, but that's just me. But also, Origin made it look so beautiful.
Yeah, Origin made me kind. Yeah, I was super not into this fight at first, but then Origin's animation came out, and I'm like, why are you making me want this fight?
The magic of Origin.
I've heard as far as that the more that the Pokemon anime has been going on, the more Ash is kind of like creeping his way up to steal the win, which has me curious, but yeah. You were saying how like it's like no matter what happens we lose, and I'm like, yeah, if Ash loses then I lose.
Look, both of these are my childhood. If
Yeah,
I,
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh were the two biggest ones.
yeah, if I had to pick who I'd prefer to win, I guess I would go with Yugi.
Same.
Monster Corridor! Sorry, I just love that abridged joke. That still makes me laugh. I'm not a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan, but I love the abridged series.
And keep misusing the heart of the cards.
Don't know what you're talking about. Listen, you were going on about that on my live stream. Listen, I will keep using it to
we'll
the
talk
end of
about
my
that on a
day.
later date. Hey, Z-Dog, what's your most wanted fight?
Yeah.
I know if I'm-
Yeah. Okay. Truth be told, I'm gonna get into a bit of spiel quick. I think I do need to go back to my top 20 just to figure out like where everyone else is, but I think my number one is still gonna stick for a while, and that is Squid versus Bakugo, baby. Let's go. No, it's Luigi Pac-Man.
Yeah.
no, it's Luigi
I
Pac-Man.
won that
like,
episode too.
Yeah, that
Hey,
sounds dope.
okay.
Why do
Here,
we not have
okay.
Pac-Man on Death Battle?
Okay, this honestly, like for real, these are like two of like my most wanted character come-ins. Like Luigi, he's my favorite fictional character ever. I want him to get a run back, really badly. I don't hate Luigi Tails, but like I do agree he does. He and Tails both deserve a run back eventually.
I agree.
And Pac-Man, how the hell have we not had this guy? He's like the granddad of video games. He deserves to be in, yet he hasn't. And honestly, while I do think Felix is a good option and Luigi has a good options, I think this one just vibes with me the most. Just, classic video game fight. You can do a lot with their power-ups. There's a lot you can do with it. Have a lot of fun interaction potential with power-ups and whatnot. And yeah, I just really want to see it.
Origin did one for this one. Origin did a thing for this one too, and it was
Yeah,
just as
it
dope.
looked really good. I'll link it in the chat just in case you guys haven't seen it because it was actually really sick. All right.
Yeah, it's dope.
But yeah, short, sweet.
Yeah. Also, Pac-Man is super under researched. We need to fix that.
Yes, we do. Yes, just yeah, and like I don't want to be biased because like I don't want to seem like I want to just have Luigi win, but like please Luigi win. like I want Pac-Man to like I want Pac-Man to be given a fair shot as well, but like Luigi's my favorite character. Come on. So. All right.
Let's end our little competition.
All right.
So yeah, extremely long story short, we had a sort of bros versus lads thing going. There was like bits of it. There was kind of like little drops of it in our conversations. Mate, the message you gave Tarok before he joined our podcast was still one of the funniest things that I've ever heard.
I didn't think he'd actually say it.
The man had the balls.
Laughing when he did.
Still, that got me to laugh so hard. That was great.
Gosh.
But yeah. So we're gonna wrap this up. So basically, what it is that we were basically, we line up our predictions of like who do we think is gonna win these episodes. My original thought was to do the second half, but then we were just like, oh well, we'll just do the whole season. Screw it. So how this works, I was hoping to get into a little bit more of a spiel on it, but we don't have the time for that. So how this works is basically whichever side voted the majority right gets the point, and whoever has the most points by the end wins.
Oh, that's how you did it. All right.
Yeah. So here I'll run through an example. So let's actually get this started. So just to kind of give you guys an idea. So we start with Harley versus Jinx, obviously. Everyone voted for Jinx except me. So
Thanks for that.
sorry guys. So that's that's unanimous vote for the lads. One guy voted for Harley on the bros, so the lads win this one.
Yep.
So they got one. So that's basically how this works. Is that whoever voted the majority wins, basically. It's like whichever side had the majority get right, basically.
Yep.
And the Oscar goes to.
Well, I'm gonna run through this. So, okay, so Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna. I'm gonna be honest, this one's a little weird, because
Just like the matchup.
well, yeah, because apart from the lads on their podcast and me in my reaction video, there wasn't really a solid. I didn't really get a solid answer for.
Well,
for-
actually, if you watch my group reaction, you'll know that I was going for Zatanna. No, chicken.
Well, I didn't.
Well,
I didn't think to ask until the episode was already long out. So this one's a little weird.
All right, let's not interrupt, bro, while he's doing this because we're running out of time here.
All right, sorry.
Okay,
I just wanted to make the joke.
It's
So
fine.
the lads all went for Scarlet Witch. I went for Scarlet Witch. Richard and Zeog went for Zatanna. So the bros win this one. Is basically what I'm trying to say. So that's one for the bros, one for the lads. And okay, for a second I thought the next three we tied. That is not true. Although for the next one we did, because everyone. So Tandro versus Jonathan, everyone voted for Jonathan.
Whoa.
So that's a tie. You can see where this is going now, right?
Yep.
So, all right, Thor versus Vegeta. The bros went for Thor. Sean went for Thor. Nate and Billy went for Vegeta.
I'll stand by. Vegeta has a chance of winning. Stand by that.
So
The haters.
we got this one. So it's 2 for bros, 1 for lads, 1 tie. Omni-Man versus Homelander. Can you imagine that this will come as a shock to you all? This one was a tie because everyone went for Omni-Man. Shocker, I know.
Yeah.
If someone genuinely went for Homelander during that, I'll be amazed.
I
If
saw
you look
one,
at the community death battle,
I saw one reaction video that did, but that's because they were banking too much on they were thinking like this can't be too obvious, and they saw Homelander's heat vision and supersonic screaming and thought this isn't as obvious as it sounds, so I'm going for Homelander. They were wrong, but
Whoops.
I kind of get.
I mean, I can see the logic.
Yeah,
but-
I can see the logic, but yeah, nah. All right, Magneto versus Tetsuo. The bros went for Magneto. Sean and Nate went for Magneto. Billy went for
no.
Tetsuo.
No way.
I really thought Tetsuo had it. And I do think it's not as one-sided as it sounds.
It wasn't, but the
I mean,
Big Bang was not enough.
Fair
I
enough.
really
I guess.
thought the Big Bang ability would have actually guaranteed the win.
Oh, I should probably mention. I probably should have mentioned this before. I did not count Excalibur versus Raiden for this, because A, it's a bonus episode. B, I never got a solid answer from Z-Dog. So.
Oops.
But that doesn't matter. It's a bonus episode. Doesn't it? I probably wasn't gonna count it in anyway.
Steps over. Yeah, not important.
Yeah. All right, Hercules versus Sun Wukong. The lads went for Sun Wukong. Richard and Z-Dog went for Sun Wukong. I went for Heracles.
To be honest, I was pretty split on that one as well. But after Sean explained Sun Wukong, I was like, okay, nah, he destroys.
Look, I was banking too much on what was said on the prediction blog, so you have that
to
to
be
blame
fair,
for that. No, I'm just kidding. No, this was entirely my fault.
I was really thinking Hercules had the strength. That's all he had. But even then, he didn't have it.
I was banking too much.
That surprised me.
The blog had this like outlandish speed feat that they didn't bring up, but I'm guessing it's because they didn't buy the scaling. So I was banking on that plus the Hydra arrows, the Hydra poison equals win. Oops. Whatever. So okay, Boba Fett versus Predator. Everyone went for Boba Fett. Boring, but practical.
Answer me.
I was resisting the urge to say it.
It's funny, I wasn't even going to make a Bamford joke. It's funny, this year I said, I'm not doing a Bamford joke anymore. Mate and Sean have been doing it. Like, I thought we were stopping this guy. I thought the joke was dead.
Alright. James Bond versus John Wick. The bros went for James Bond. Billy and Mate went for James Bond. Sean went for John Wick.
I thought the durability was more than enough to beat Bond.
So I know we British suck, but come on, we're good enough fisticuff.
Hey, I'll be fair. I'll be fair.
We're
I
brought up
wanted John to
by
win.
like the age of 2.
So that's a point for the bros. Black Adam versus Apocalypse. The lads went for Black Adam. Z-Dog went for Black Adam. Me and Richard went for Apocalypse. So
I put too
So
much
you
faith
saved it.
in Shazam powers plus Lantern Ring.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know
Actually
about
flew through the Speed Force.
I didn't even know about the Lantern Ring. That would have if I had known about the Lantern Ring, that would have swayed me to Black Adam.
So 5-2 so far.
Okay, Trunks versus Silver. This one's actually kind of interesting. It's interesting because I thought there would be some split here, but no, this was unanimous. We all went for Silver. So I thought at least someone would go for Trunks, but I guess not. All right, SpongeBob versus Aquaman. We all went for SpongeBob.
Yeah. I'm happy.
Jason versus Michael. As you can imagine, we all went for Jason. So that's with 3 ties in a row. Damn.
But that's gonna change today.
Yeah, it is gonna change actually, because next one. So Sauron versus the Lich King.
This is my bad. I'm sorry in advance.
Z-Dog and Richard went for Lich King, while I went for Sauron. And on the lad side of things, Mate went for Lich King. Billy and Sean went for Sauron. So they get this. So the lads get this point.
I'll be honest.
I
if
know
didn't
my
research-
Sauron shit.
If I didn't research Sauron, I would have probably picked Lich King, honestly. But after researching Sauron, I'm like, yeah, Lich King fucked.
I put
As
too much faith in
Sauron.
Tarok.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
doesn't have faith in the
I
lads,
almost
he has
did-
faith in the French more.
I almost put too much faith in him too, but then the prediction blog came out.
I get.
Sauron, he's a mean bitch. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Deku versus Asta. The lads all went for Asta. Z-Dog and Richard went for Asta. I went for Deku.
No.
So, yeah, oof. My bad. Lads win
I've
this
only
one.
seen one season. I've only seen 2 seasons of Black Clover, and even I know.
Yeah. I appreciate you
fair.
having
The last one for us.
Once again, I blame the prediction blog. I put way too much faith in that tie that they had.
not for well.
In my mind, I thought if Deku was stronger, then he wins because of all the abilities he had. And then I didn't hear anything. I mean, obviously, I'm not counting, predictions made during reaction videos after watching the analysis because that's cheating. Basically, my cutoff point was before the episode came out. Basically, So like you can't use the analysis. I wasn't using the analysis to cheat. Otherwise, I would have gone for Sun Wukong. So there you go. Although I also would have gone with Vegeta and Predator. So, anyways, so Gogeta versus Vegito. Basically, everyone went for Vegito, except
There it is.
for your only mate.
Yep.
So the bros got that point,
mate.
and in total, it's 6 points for the bros, 4 for the lads, and 6 ties.
How did we tie so much this season?
You know what?
I don't
know. Well, there were so many tie episodes that we can all unanimously yeah.
I think
I
I
will
don't
say-
the closest was Boba Predator.
Will say though,
Yeah.
if we did just go by just counting 1 point to each side, and the lads still would have won. Just saying.
Hey, look, regardless,
I,
it is interesting to see how we all thought throughout this season, as far as who we
Yeah.
picked to win and everything.
Yeah.
Also,
And
can I just get
honestly-
out there, the method that I was going to use?
yeah, sure, go ahead.
What's up?
I was just going to go by what's said in public podcasts.
And that was what we were
Yeah.
going
Ah.
for.
Yeah, but then I had to drop that because somebody was like, well, I'm going to wait until more info comes out.
Your info.
Which I mean, it's fair, but
That's
also
basically
that
him
kind of
saying, I'm too
that.
scared to choose.
I mean, which honestly, I mean, I get it, but
really.
also that is
Well, not only
speed things
that,
up
but,
for that.
Not only that, but we didn't have a podcast for Bond versus Wick, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna not count some of them. It was either gonna be public podcasts or just if there's a video or podcast where we talk about the matchup that is happening,
yeah.
that sort of thing. Because you guys did do podcasts talking about the tease characters, and then there was that stream you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, that's what I was going off of.
Yeah.
So there we go.
But no.
By this count, the bros win.
Yes.
It got
Well,
interesting.
I mean-
It got interesting by the end. I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no. Very, very, very nice showing from everyone, I gotta say. Those were the lot closer
Yeah.
than
I feel like the lads
honestly
did
expected.
better last season. I do think we were on point last season.
Maybe.
We were.
I'm
We
I'm
got
actually
the entire-
curious. I'm actually interested in going back to season 8 just to see.
The one
How that would
thing
go.
I remember, the one thing about season 8, we got the entire first half right, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think me and Z-Dog went geese.
Yeah,
So-
we went geese. That's that kind of food. So, Richard, I think, went Hayachi, if I recall correctly.
I think Richard only picked Geese because he didn't have a consensus at the time, so he just went with the flow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Something like that.
No, I didn't pick anybody at all.
Ah, well.
Docker.
I abstracted because I wasn't.
Still, I do
Yeah.
think we actually did do better in season 8, honestly.
You
Hey,
you
you know
probably
what?
did.
You know what? Still, good job
Although
all around, man.
I did better for season
Yeah.
8. I know
Good
that
job
for a
on it.
fact because in season 8 I only got Geese and Macho Man wrong last season. So
I was the only one that went for Kool-Aid Man. Yay!
Yeah, legit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you were.
I had
Yeah,
faith
well.
in the beverage.
I wanted the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid Man to win, so you know I
I think
have
I
that.
only went for Macho Man and Akuma.
Yes, those were the only two you got wrong.
You know what's even
The,
funny?
the one time being thirsty helps you.
I don't even think I was even on that podcast. I was doing my Halloween thing.
You were doing... Good one, T-Dog. Yeah, you were doing
Jesus
Halloween
Christ.
stuff.
How shall we end this crossover?
Yes.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I must ask, you guys down for a rematch in season 9?
Season
10.
10.
10? I mean,
I'm
that's
good.
what I. Yep.
I mean, I'm game personally.
I'm game.
Okay.
This was fun.
As
Even if-
long as I'm
even if-
still here, I'm game.
Okay.
I just want
We're
to
both doing it.
throw this out there. I still want to do that whole like what's said on public podcast thing.
I think that's a good idea. That way there
Okay,
isn't
it's a
much
really
yeah,
way of
sure.
doing it.
changes.
Sure.
Well, maybe we'll do. Well, maybe we'll do 2 separate ways. Probe and they can do their own. Ooh.
You know what? Why
See
don't we
what
have the fans
comparing
decide? Do y'all
to
want to? Do y'all want a best of 3?
Best of 3.
That assumes
But truth
we
be
get
told, or you
that
just
many-
like me and you just don't give a shit. You know, just whoever gets more right, who cares? I had fun doing this.
So
Yeah.
did I. Always good.
I,
All right.
Alright.
Well, we
Alright.
should probably end this because me
Yes,
and
we
Billy
should.
got a crossover tomorrow. Or today.
maybe tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Still got Among Us videos to edit.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
A certain remake dropping soon.
And I mean, from my experience, Sonic Frontiers DLC is about to drop. Maybe I'll
Oh,
do
yeah,
some.
it is.
Maybe I'll do some streaming again.
Yeah. I'll work on a video and probably get either Sean or Sam to edit because I feel bad that I've been keeping them away from so long. But to be fair, they have lives.
Also, I have I have a voice actors video coming up. I wanted to do one. I wanted to do one last year, and I just ran out of time. So I'm combining last year and I'm combining season 8 and season 9 basically, as well as DBX season 6. So I have that coming up. I also am still hard at work on my Jafar versus Maleficent death metal script, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah.
Alright. Well, lads, it's been fun having you. And until we meet
Yes,
again,
it has.
Hey,
I don't know.
It was fun.
you're I was gonna make it a childish insult, but I'm not going to. It's been a pleasure having you on, honestly, and you know, if you need me back for anything, as long as Belle doesn't kill me again, I'm you know.
Ditto on my part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
Phil, I got my eyes on you. I hope you realize. For any tactical news. For any tactical
we're
news.
done.
By the way,
We're done.
wait, actually, before we finish though, Ezekiel,
Okay.
guess what?
What?
Knife.
All right, we're done.
Okay.
I don't know
Thanks,
what that was.
Robin.
I don't know what that was all about.
Annoying
said
orange
knife.
reference.
Oh.
No. Oh.
I was making a
yeah.
I was gonna-
Guys.
All right. Well, that's how you know we should be done.
Both, you're all miserable and you didn't get the joke.
I got it.
I got it now that you've explained it.
As the Joker would say, if I had to explain a joke, there is no joke.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for
So
watching. Thanks for
I didn't
watching.
even
Like
hear
and
it.
subscribe and bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.